Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Śrila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining this live session, and thank you to all of those of you who will be watching later on the recording, rather on our personal YouTube channel or Facebook, or on the ISCAM official YouTube channel or Facebook. So if you would kindly share the link into different groups and let them know that we are live, so that devotees can join. We have an important topic to discuss today, so we have to start relatively fast in order to cover as many aspects of it as possible. So thank you very much for joining. I would repeat again, I'm live streaming from China, a countryside in China, therefore sometimes the connection is not so good as I'm using a VPN to stay connected. So if the sound breaks during the session, or if the video stops, please stay put. I will be back shortly. Alright, Hare Krishna all of you. Hare Krishna Sami Prabhu, Saurav Prabhu. So we shall begin. Please let everyone know that we are live. We shall begin with the Mangala Charana prayer to invoke auspiciousness and the blessings of the Parampara and Śrila Prabhupada. Om Jnana-timirandasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Taismai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Utam Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunantam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadhuetam Savadutam Parijanam Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarubhischa Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo 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 Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschachadishatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So thank you all for joining today's session. Very important indeed. We are going to discuss a lot of things. So this is a subject matter that is very, very important for our movement. And when I say our movement, I do not just mean ISKM. We are humbly serving under the banner of ISKM. For those of you who do not know, we have got our reasons, but we consider ourselves also part of ISKCON. You know, we are part of Śrila Prabhupada movement. But for a reason that we'll be discussing in this talk, we are now under a different name. But this talk here, what we're going to be discussing is for the whole movement. It's for all devotees actually, because it is at the very core of how can we make further advancement in devotional service. So throughout the session, if you have any questions, you can put it in the comment section. Please don't start any argument there in the comment section. Try to keep things cool. And towards the end of the session, I will be looking at the comments or the questions, and we'll go through them. So this is with a sincere desire to bring auspiciousness, first of all, for ourselves, then for other devotees who will be watching this session, or the devotees that will be hearing the devotees who have watched this session and gotten knowledge. And it is also for the auspiciousness of those whom we unfortunately gonna have to be criticizing. So I would like to start with this quote, which I really like. It is from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and it explains when we can find fault in people, or even in devotees. So looking at fault is not always bad, but if it is done with an improper motive, then it is bad. So I will be sharing this here. This is a nice website. Okay, they have many articles of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur. It's called Bhaktivinoda Institute. So the devotees who are doing this are doing nice, they are. And this is kind of a way that we can understand how we can cooperate with one another. So these devotees are not necessarily in the sampradaya that we belong, but they're doing this service, and it is definitely nice for us. Okay, now this is a very good article. Okay, so Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, let us begin and let us seek the blessings of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who fought very fearlessly to expose all these different sahajiyās. So it is said, okay, actually we should seriously consider the fact that without proper motivation, it is improper to reflect upon the faults of any jiva, not just Vaishnav, not just non-devotees, but any jiva soul, any living entity, even animals. So to find fault in animals even without proper motive is also bad. To blaspheme a Vaishnava is an offense. Blaspheming other jivas is a sin. Two different things. A Vaishnava has no desire to perform such sinful activities. So to blaspheme other other living entity, we're going to have sinful reaction for that. To blaspheme a Vaishnava is an offense which will block us from advancing further in devotional service. Yet, if one has proper intentions in pointing out another's faults, then Shastra does not consider that as an offense. There are three types of proper intention. If we expose someone's sins in order that they ultimately attain auspiciousness, then such discussions are favorable. So, if it is for the person that is deviating, so we are going to be discussing about those who compromise the philosophy in order to please the public. So we are criticizing them. There's no doubt that discrimination is being applied. There's no doubt that we are finding out their faults. So if it is for them, that is good. However, unfortunately, many of those who are already on this path of deviation and watering down the philosophy will not listen. So anyway, this is for the Kanishtadikari who is willing to hear. Because there's different types of Kanishtadikari. It's not that it's all one. There's different levels of Madhyamadikari also. And there's different levels of Uttamadikari. We say it is divided in three, Uttama, Madhyam and Kanishta, but it is not 1. Otherwise, there will only be three types of devotees. But we can subcategorize them. So one of those subtypes is, I think we are going to go, first of all, is the Kanishtadikari who's willing to listen. And that, Śrila Prabhupada speaks in the Nectar of Instruction. Six types of, yes, okay. So 6 types of association. I'm sure you know this verse. Dadati pratigrihnati guhyam akhyati prichati bhungte bhujayate chaiva shadvidham priti lakshanam. So offering gifts in charity, accepting charitable gifts. Let me see if, okay, yeah. Revealing one's mind in confidence, inquiring confidentially, accepting prasad and offering prasad are the 6 symptoms of love shed by one devotee and another. This is how love manifests. This is how love is cultivated. Not even amongst devotees, even amongst karmis. Just like in the Vedic system, husband and wife used to be married very young. So they did not know each other. They were practically, how do you say? Inconnu. Anyway, unknown to one another. But by, the wife cooking to the husband accepting, the husband giving instruction, the wife inquiring, in this way love develops. Okay, so same thing for karmis, same thing for devotees. So these 6 types of love are how we associate with devotees. Now, in the purport, Śrila Prabhupada In this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami explains how to perform devotional activities in the association of other devotees. There are 6 kinds of activities: giving charity to the devotees, accepting from the devotees whatever they may offer in return. Accepting, this is very important. When I used to be a karmi, sometimes I used to reject a lot of my friends' gifts, thinking that it was the right thing to do. Actually, when you reject a gift, you're rejecting their love, because I'm giving you something, it's a symptom of love. And I had some friends also, oh no, they don't, they don't want. So now I understand, being a devotee, that you must accept gifts when someone offers, because if you say no, you're literally rejecting their love. Opening one's mind to the devotees, inquiring from them about the confidential service of the Lord, honoring prasad or spiritual food given by the devotees, and feeding the devotees with prasad. An experienced devotee explains, and an inexperienced devotee learns from him. Yeah, so this is the way, inquiring and listening. It's not that we are all talking, I give my opinion, someone else gives his opinion. No, the one who's more advanced, he will explain, and the less advanced, he will hear. This is Guhyam Akhyati Pritchati. When a devotee distributes prasad, remnants of food offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in order to maintain our spirit of devotional service, we must accept this prasad as the Lord's grace received through the pure devotees. We should also invite pure devotees to our home, offer them prasad, and be prepared to please them in all respects. This is called Bhunte Bhujayate Chaiva. Now, we should also invite pure devotees to our home. If one thinks that Śrila Prabhupada is the only pure devotee, then how do we do? Actually, pure devotee, there are 2 types. There's the completely perfect pure devotee, and there's the one who is waiting perfection. And that is Uttamadikari and Madhyamadikari respectively. Madhyamadikari is also considered a pure devotee. That is described in the Harinam Chintamani by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Okay, now we're jumping a lot, but I want to make sure that here, okay, good. I didn't have to search long. So this is Harinam Chintamani chapter 8. Kṛṣṇa Prema, might be a bit small. Kṛṣṇa Prema, Kṛṣṇa Bhakte, Maitri Archarana, Bali Shete Kripa Aradveshi Upekshana, Karilena Madhyama Bhakta Shuddha Bhakta. Madhyama Bhakta, the Madhyamadikari, is a Shuddha Bhakta, pure devotee. Hana Krishna Name Adhikara Karena Arjana. This is at the core of the topic that we're going to be discussing today. One who has love for Krishna, who makes friends with the devotees, who shows mercy to the neophytes and ignorant people, and who avoids the envious, is a Madhyama Bhakta and is considered a pure devotee, a Shuddha Bhakta. He is qualified to chant the holy name of Krishna. Okay, so now how? Why is it that he's a pure devotee? I thought only Uttamadikari was pure devotee. No, because he's beyond karma and jnana. Jnana karma anavritam. Okay, he is no longer interested in karma yoga and jnana yoga. We are also going to be touching what is this karma yoga, jnana yoga. So, all right. Now, I don't want, this is a long purport. They're giving Krishna remember, but this is okay. I think this is not actually the purport where the 3 types of kanishtas are. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that's it. So here, Srila Rupa Goswami is telling us how to recognize who is who. Okay, so one should mentally honor the devotee who chants the holy name of Krishna. One should offer humble obeisances to the devotee who has undergone spiritual initiation, diksha, and is engaged in worshipping the deity. And one should associate with and faithfully serve that pure devotee who is advanced in undeviated devotional service and whose heart is completely devoid of the propensity to criticize others. Now we might quote this against today's session, that you are not very advanced because you're going to be criticizing the Sahajiyās, you're going to. So actually, preacher, the platform of Guru is actually Madhyamadikari. But it is the Uttamadikari who comes down to the Madhyama platform who is really empowered. Because the Uttamadikari does not discriminate where mercy has to be given. In fact, he sees everybody as a devotee. So where's the meaning of preaching? He thinks that he's lower than everybody else and everyone is a devotee, even the most of sinners, In other words, he's completely freed from the bodily concept of life because he sees the spirit soul, who's an eternal servant of Krishna. So he's not considering the material, covering. So So even the Uttamadhikari comes down to the Madhyamadhikari. And the Madhyamadhikari, he's already discriminating in 4 different ways, right? He sees the Supreme Lord, he sees the devotees, the innocent, and the envious. And he's going to be dealing differently with the 4 of them. Now, so if the Madhyamadhikari discriminates, and the Uttamadhikari, because he's so concerned with the welfare of others, also comes down to the second platform, so that means that actually discrimination can never be given up. It always has to be there. Because even if one is pure, completely freed from the 3 modes, Uttamadhikari, you still will have to discriminate for the welfare of others. Now this is something which is very counterintuitive. How is it that by discriminating, one will develop the mood of not wanting to discriminate? And that is how it works. We have to properly discriminate at first. And by this proper discrimination, our devotional activities will be properly done. We will not be misunderstanding. We will not be applying our reciprocation with wrong devotees or non-devotees, right? Because those 6 types of accepting, receiving, all of that should be done with Madhyamadhikari and Uttamadhikari, not with Kanishtha-adhikari actually. So the Kanishta has to be taking association from more advanced devotee if he wants to advance. If he doesn't do so, if he doesn't take guidance, he will remain in the lowest stage. So let's go back. So Śrila Prabhupada actually, he is completely devoid of this propensity to criticize others. He does not want to do that, but he does it to show by example. And this we will come back again to it's spoken by Bhaktivinoda Thakur in the same article. So now this is just a sideline here. In order to intelligently apply the 6-fold loving reciprocation mentioned in the previous verse, one must select proper persons with careful discrimination. Yes, that's the thing. And this is what this session is all about. It's about properly discriminating who is who in this Vaishnava world. Srila Rupa Goswami therefore advises that we should meet with the Vaishnavas in an appropriate way, according to their particular status. In this verse, he tells us how to deal with 3 types of devotees: the Kanishtha-adhikari, Madhyamadhikari, and Uttamadhikari. The Kanishtha-adhikari is a neophyte who has received the Harinam initiation from the spiritual master and is trying to chant the holy name of the Lord of Kṛṣṇa. He's trying to chant. That means his chanting is very offensive still. One should respect such a person within his mind as a Kanishta Vaishnava. This is very important. Although we are going to be discriminating today, saying that, people, some of these devotees, they compromise, they don't show we should not disrespect them within ourselves. We should still, because after all, they're chanting Hare Krishna. So that's a very important point. We should not step on them simply to feel oneself to be higher. That's actually the mentality of a Kanishtha-adhikari. To simply discriminate, to say, put other people's down so that one feels better, it's what the karmis are doing. A Madhyamadhikari has received spiritual initiation from the spiritual master and has been fully engaged by him in the transcendental living service of the Lord. The Madhyamadhikari should be considered to be situated midway in devotional service. So fully engaged in devotional service. There's a lot to understand in those few sentences. But transcendental living service of the Lord, So actually the Madhyamadhikari becomes a preacher. The Uttamadhikari, or highest devotee, is one who is very advanced in devotional service. An Uttamadhikari is not interested in blaspheming others. His heart is completely clean and he has attained the realized state of unalloyed Krishna consciousness. According to Srila Rupa Goswami, the association and service of such a Mahā-bhāgavata or perfect Vaishnava are most desirable. So therefore, when one is raised to the Madhyama platform, then he will be able to to serve the Uttamadhikari properly. Before one becomes a Madhyamadhikari, actually he is not capable of serving the Uttama. We will see this later, if I remember to show. So, because he's beyond speculation, that's the thing. The Madhyamadhikari, he is beyond speculation because he's guiding by Shastra. He has developed Shastra Praman, Shastra Chakshu. He sees through the scriptures, therefore he does not speculate. But the Kanishta, he speculates. Why? Because he's full of doubts. His faith is not strong. One should not remain a Kanishtha-adhikari, one who is situated on the lowest platform of devotional service and is interested only in worshipping the deity in the temple. Such a devotee is described in the 11th canto of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Okay, anyway, so this is the famous verse. A person who is very faithfully engaged in the worship of the deity in the temple, but who does not know how to behave toward devotees or people in general, is called a prakrita bhakta or Kṛṣṇa. Now one might say that, wait a second, people who you're going to be criticizing today, they're not just worshipping the deity, they're preaching. No, they're not preaching, even though they appear to. That's the thing. They're concerned with their own selves. And you see here, who does not know how to behave toward devotees or people in general. That means if you do not know how to take guidance from a Madhyama Bhakta, and you do not know how to preach to the people in general, you are compromising left and right, and you're not pinpointing the real cause of their material sufferings, you're not boldly speaking, then you do not know how to reciprocate, and therefore you should not be preaching. So when a Kanishta-adhikari or Prakrita Bhakta, he preaches, so-called preaching is simply a disturbance in society. Shruti smiti puranadi pancharatriki vidhim vina. So it is said that it's simply a disturbance in society, one who does not follow the proper guidance. Okay, now... Okay, here Prabhupada speaks more of the Prakrita Bhakta. The prākṛta-sahajiyās generally chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, yet they are attached to women, money, and intoxication. So this is one of the type of the Kanishta-adhikari. So he's called a prākṛta-sahajiyās. He takes everything very cheaply. He's chanting Hare Krishna. He might even have a sikha. He might, wear tilak every day. But he's attached to women. He very much likes the association of women. He likes to make money, and even intoxication. Just like we know of a very famous group in ISKCON, they have got their mridangas and they sing bhajans in very melodious tones, but we learned that they got caught at the airport with ganja one time. So you see? So many of those so-called kirtaniyas in our ISKCON, they're actually drug addict. They smoke ganja. Even my sister, she used to tell me that because my sister is also a devotee, so at one point she was living full-time into the Montreal temple. And she told me practically all devotees, the young devotees, they smoke ganja. So they used to smoke ganja together, So how are you going to make advancement when you're associating with such devotees? When I say ganja, it means marijuana, pot, they say. So anyway, I used to smoke also when I was a karmi, but I managed to give up because I got the proper association. So, we're not saying, oh, you smoke ganja, you're low and this and that. No, everybody's coming from some background, Some of us less pious, some of us more pious. So in the beginning, these things should not be considered too seriously. Okay, you smoke ganja, so what? If he's sincere in following the principles, he'll get purified. So we should not consider what he was before. But if he's insisting on continuing his bad habits, and he doesn't want to take guidance from senior devotees, then his association should be given up, because he's then he's classified as a prākṛta-sahajiyā. This is a distinction. One who wants to stay in his contaminated position and who claims that this is okay, this is bhakti, I can do like that, then he's a prākṛta-sahajiyā. But if he understands that, no, this is an anartha, now I might fall back once in a while in it, but I don't want to keep that anartha. I want to become purified. I want to advance toward pure devotional service. Then he's not to be called a prākṛta-sahajiyā. So this is the first type of Kanishta-adhikari. Now, although such persons may chant the holy name of the Lord, they are not yet properly purified. Such people should be respected within one's mind, but their association should be avoided. So there's devotees that we should avoid. This is what Prabhupada is saying. And they have to be, it's not by the external symptoms that we know who is who. Prabhupada never said here the Madhyama-adhikari is wearing a dhoti nicely with the sevenfold and he's got the tilak all the way to the crest of the head. It's not like that. Those who are innocent but simply carried away by bad association should be shown favor if they are eager to receive proper instructions from pure devotee. Here we have a different type of Kanishta-adhikari. That they might have bad habits, but it's not their... Okay, one moment. I see that my microphone is often clipping, which means it's a little bit too loud. You let me know if it's okay. Anyway, I think it's fine. So these Kanishtas are not yet purified. They have got problem with their senses, controlling their senses, but it's not their fault. They will very soon come to the proper platform, Just one moment, huh? Yeah. I don't know if I can lower down the... Okay, yeah, here. Just give me 1 second. Audio, mic volume. I'm just going to be reducing this a little bit. Okay, now it should be less loud, but at least it's not clipping. Clipping means when it goes to the highest and it distorts the sound. Okay, so this Kṛṣṇa Adhikari, he's going to progress. Why? The key factor here is that he's willing. They are eager to receive proper instructions from pure devotees. So from the, of course, Madhyamadhikari, but best Uttamadhikari. How to receive instruction from the Uttamadhikari Vaishnava? Prabhupada is no longer here. No, his books are there. Okay, so therefore he wants to improve his faith in reading Prabhupada books, and he's taking guidance from Madhyamadhikari. But those neophyte devotees who are actually initiated by the bona fide spiritual master and are seriously engaged in carrying out the orders of the spiritual master should be offered respectful obeisances. This is the third type of Kṛṣṇa Adhikari, but here Prabhupada is saying such Kṛṣṇa Adhikari should be treated as a Madhyamadhikari. Yes. Why? Because this is what it is said in the verse here. We should offer within the mind. Then one should offer humble obeisances to the devotees who have undergone spiritual initiation diksha, okay, and is engaged in deity worship. So that is the, the Kṛṣṇa Adhikari who is very soon going to become Madhyam. Okay, so okay, I think number of round chapa. Okay, sorry, huh? Yeah. But those neophyte devotees who are actually initiated by the bona fide spiritual master and are seriously engaged in carrying out the orders of the spiritual master should be offered respectful obeisances. There you go. So we have three types. The lowest is the prākṛta-sahajiyās, who want to continue in their own way. They don't take guidance. The second is the sincere devotee, but he's just, weak, still weak. And the third, he is relatively strong in Krishna consciousness, and he's surrendered. He's a surrendered Kṛṣṇa. So, okay. All right. Now we are going back here in this. Okay. If we expose someone's sins in order that they ultimately attain auspiciousness, then such discussions are favorable. So why I went into that other purport is because even though we expose the sins of a prākṛta-sahajiyā, he's not going to change. Most likely he's not going to change because he wants to continue the way he is. The two others, who, the one, especially, the one in the middle, who is still struggling with his senses, and he might do mistakes. He might maybe associate with people he should not associate with, and he doesn't know because he doesn't have proper discrimination. He should also be shown favor by exposing his sins, exposing his deviations. Okay. If we deliberate on a sinner's vices in order to benefit the whole world, then this should be counted as an auspicious action. So they say, you find fault with Vaishnava Parad, this and that. No, it is auspicious. I am your friend, actually. You have no other friend but me. That is the thing. Because nobody is going to tell you how you're deviating except me. When I say me, I'm speaking as the Madhyama Bhakta who's talking. You see, the Madhyama Bhakta, he is the real friend. And he's going to be speaking sharply. He's not going to be rubbing you in the sense of the hair. No. He's going to be pointing out, you're doing something wrong. This is not proper. This is not in accordance with Śrila Prabhupada's books. Of course, we should know how to present the philosophy. It's not that we should be rude. Just like Prabhupada, when he went, everybody knows that interview, right? With the bald man here and the hair on the side. He was in a TV show, right? And he's asking why the heads are shaved. Why are heads shaved, right? I'm sure most of you have seen that. So see how Prabhupada was so nice and soft and delicate. But at the same time, do you know the message he let go? He said, if one doesn't try to understand God, he's an animal. I don't know if you remember. So although he was as calm, so nicely, well, so that he's not agitated, at the same time, he told the whole world that they're animals. Just see how expert he was. And the man did not become disturbed because he saw that, he's not saying that out of envy, right? So we should become expert like this, that we should know how to present the message so that, as to cause less agitation. But at the same time, we should not dilute the message. It should be as it is. What is 90%, if not 95% of Prabhupada's classes and teachings? You're a rascal, you're not supposed to be rotting in this material world, you're suffering, even though you claim independence, you have no independence. You say that you're a master, but actually you're a servant of your family, of your nation, of your boss, and your kids, and your wife, okay? And this material world, there's no happiness, there's only suffering. So, bam, 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 hitting on the ego, always, always, always. Not that Prabhupada was going around and speaking about, pastimes of Lord Kṛṣṇa. No, not like that. This is prākṛta-sahajiyās. They very cheaply go to the so-called highest, while not even themselves being properly purified. So Prabhupada was never compromising with the philosophy, and that's how you can tell who's a proper preacher. He will be saying the exact same things. Prabhupada got properly received, he got officially received by 3 countries. Maybe more than that, but as far as I know, 3. Official reception means that the top heads of the country greet him and bring him to their whatever parliament, or I don't know which place you call. So one place was in France, one was in Geneva, and one was in Rome. So when he was received in France, he was received by the mayor of Paris, or what is equivalent to a mayor in France of Paris. And those of you who have seen this footage, he was shown into a very beautiful building, huge tall roof, very old building with beautiful wooden carvings. And then you have all those government people there. You have the mayor, who's very skinny, tall, nicely, gentlemen and ladies are all there. And if you have seen the following Śrila Prabhupada series, or you have read some of the memories, one Mataji speaks of what Prabhupada said. Unfortunately, at that time, they had only the video. They didn't have the audio. But Mataji spoke of what he said. First of all, they greeted him, and Prabhupada sat down. And then they waited for Prabhupada to stand up, because that is the decorum. Like, how do you say? They have, rules on how to receive, then you speak, then he speaks in this way. You're supposed to be standing up, but Prabhupada sat down, and then they say, the disciples said, Prabhupada, they're waiting for you to stand up. And Prabhupada said, I should stand up for who? So Prabhupada follows the Vedic custom, not your custom. Vedic custom is the holy man comes, he sits down, and you are serving, So not that he has to stand up for you. Who are you? And then Prabhupada stood up after the mayor, was rubbing butter on the toast, whatever, how you want to say it. Prabhupada said, any government who doesn't teach his citizens how to advance in spiritual life is a demonic government. He went directly at the heart, and you can feel, even though you don't hear what Prabhupada is saying, you're seeing in the video how uncomfortable they're all feeling. They're looking at each other and they're rubbing their thumbs, and they're like this. Even Prabhupada's disciple, who was a Mataji who was translating, she was like, turning around, and then she was like this, and then doing the translation, and then even here she was like, wow, okay. So just see how Prabhupada, right in front of them, he did not compromise. Not that he brought his book, Bhagavad Gita as it is, and then he smiled, to the mayor, and then he gives the book, and then big pictures, everybody, yeah, and then, okay, bye-bye, and then take some pictures and show that in the movement, and everybody say, oh, wow, Maharaj, great. No, not like that. Practical preaching, not faking it. What is he going to do with the Bhagavad Gita, this man, who is like materialistic number 1, head of state, cheetah number 1? What is he going to do with the Bhagavad Gita? He's never going to read it. So preaching for them is not like that. Preaching for them is you go to the jugular, bah. And then it's also a very good example for his disciples. Prabhupada showed by example that these people, we should never compromise with them, Now, I'm speaking like that. Maybe someone will say, well, what about you? Would you be able to do like that? I don't think I would be able. Because such big materialistic man, it's very imposing, You have to be very, very strong to stand in front of a big materialist. And therefore, it is said, in Shastra, that the Madhyama-adhikari should be careful, not try to preach to the demons, because he might be converted back, So I'm not saying I would be able to speak like Prabhupada, but at least I'm not faking it. That's the thing. At least I'm not trying to act as if I'm a big preacher talking in front of 10,000 people and watering down the philosophy and all. I'm acting in my own field. Whatever little I can do, I'm trying to do. That's it. So we are against duplicity, hypocrisy. That's what we're against. Don't try to act as a devotee who is on a higher platform. That's not proper. So let us continue here. So for the whole world, so this is what we're trying to do with this class. Of course, it's not going to reach the whole world, but I mean, People who are watching, we want to be benefiting them. If such deliberations are for one's own spiritual benefit, then such an aspect carries no fault. And yes, this is also, me personally speaking these classes, I do that also, mainly for my own very, engraving in rock, and that you stay on your side, I stay on my side. Sometimes I'm criticized, even by devotees, that sometimes I'm too strict and too... I prefer that I'm super strict, more, on that line. Like, let's say if I'm to make a mistake, I prefer making a mistake in being too strict, too criticizing than not enough. Because when you're not enough criticizing, then you lose your Shakti. You start to be sucked away by the materialist. Then you start to make compromise. These devotees, although they don't have much faith in Prabhupada, they're also okay, and this and that. We're not on that level of seeing, sama sarveshu bhuteshu, No, we have to have proper discrimination. Of course, I don't want to be unnecessarily agitating people's mind. That's not my point, but I want to keep myself protected, Okay, now, when one reflects upon the histories concerning the previous life of Valmiki or the previous activities of Jagai and Madhya, etc., then such deliberations are actually free of sin. That is a very good thing, because Valmiki now and Jagai and Madhya, they're pure devotees. They're all pure devotees, but they were conditioned before, or they made some mistake, or they fell down, whatever. But it's not that we are committing Vaishnava parad, it's for, our own good understanding, so that we can discriminate. When a disciple prays to the Guru to identify a true Vaishnav, the Guru, desiring auspiciousness for the disciple and the whole world, may draw attention to a non-Vaishnava, whose behavior is actually unholy, as well as those who are saintly Vaishnavas. So this is it, and we see that in Prabhupada's teachings. We see that even in his purports. In the 12th chapter of Adi Lila, verse 8 to 12, Prabhupada criticizes his god brothers. He's basically saying that Gaudiya Mata is not bona fide. Plain and simple, he's writing. The other time, I was in a group here in China. We have WeChat, this is what we use. So some Mataji added me to the group. So there were any types of people in there, it was a complete, anybody can say anything. There was no authority. So they started to quote this and quote that and quote this. So then I humbly said, okay, you are saying Prabhupada is the Acharya, most of them accepted Prabhupada as the Acharya. So I'm saying, okay, if you accept that, then you must accept his words. So then I showed a letter where Prabhupada says that we should not mix with his god brothers. They're very good at harming our movement. So then they're saying, oh, these letters we cannot trust. Maybe they were changed and this like that, who knows. The GBC is very envious of Gaudiya Mat, so they might have concocted the letter. So I said, okay, letter you don't want. All right, so I showed those purports of the 12th chapter. And then, no, you cannot criticize like this. So what does that mean? That means you have no faith in Prabhupada. You stop acting as if you have faith. In other words, you stop acting as if you know. You're not a preacher. You're not supposed to be speaking. You're supposed to be listening. You're on the stage of listening now, not speaking. So you have no faith in Prabhupada. You have faith in Prabhupada when it is congenial to your understanding, to your sense gratification. And you lose that faith when Prabhupada speaks about a point that, smack your ego. Well, someone who's serious, he wants his ego to be smacked. That's a sincere disciple. Let me be beaten by the spiritual master again and again and again because I'm a rascal who doesn't want to surrender to Kṛṣṇa. Although we're hearing again and again, you're part and parcel of Kṛṣṇa, surrender to him, surrender to you. We're still not surrender. We have to be honest with ourselves. There's still a long way to go, So this is it. Let's go back. So the spiritual master, he will point out, this is a so-called Vaishnav, because if the disciple, who's a real identity, who's a real Vaishnav? The Guru, desiring auspiciousness for the disciple in the whole world, may draw attention to a non-Vaishnava. So this person is a non-Vaishnav, but he looks like a Vaishnav. Prabhupada has done that, and we should do that too. Not that everybody be happy, hold hands, and dance in circle. No. This is hippie philosophy, that peace and love, so-called peace and love. And then the heart is full of dirty thing. What kind of peace you'll have? With the intention to guide others to accept shelter at the feet of a real Vaishnavas, it is not sadhu ninda or Vaishnava parad to reject the company of such deceitful dharma vajis, religious pretenders. This is it. Maybe I should have named my class this, Religious Pretenders. Dharmadvajis. So the world is filled with them. Filled with them. Most of so-called religious people are pretenders. They're making a show. Even if criticism arises towards a specific person, it is still free from any fault. Now one might say, criticize the philosophy, but don't criticize the person. No. Even if criticism arises towards a specific person, it is still free from any fault. These are all examples of criticizing with the proper motivations. Just see. Actually, just now I'm having this realization. I have read this, but I somehow did not saw that point here. Even if criticism arises toward a specific person, it is still free from any fault. These are all examples of criticizing with proper motivation. So we are more than convinced that what we're doing is correct. We have got authorization by Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So, of course, we should know when to attack a specific person and when to attack the philosophy only. It's not that always we're going to bash. Let's say we're holding a pandal, sometimes Prabhupada did some big pandal in India. Hundreds of thousands of people, throughout the whole many days. So he did not go on stage and say, Ramakrishna is bogus and this and that is... No. What is the point? You don't want to be bringing controversy. You want people to be listening at first. That's the whole point. People should at least listen to the philosophy and then slowly. But in some private conversation or with a smaller group of individuals, even though they're not devotees, they're newcomers, Prabhupada would sometimes attack directly. There's one famous man, he's actually infamous, Dr. Patel. Any of you who has read some of the Morning Walks or Conversation, you know him. Dr. Patel will always argue. Actually, he was very much attached to Swami Narayan. And Prabhupada, at one point, he criticized, he criticized. And if there's one nice lila that is spoken of in those following Śrila Prabhupada series. So one time, Dr. Patel brought one of these, maybe Swami Narayan or other, I don't know. So that person got extremely angry at Śrila Prabhupada. And he started to literally shout at Prabhupada, you only criticize, you only do this, you only la la. So the disciples were ready to, push him off. Prabhupada said, no, let him, So he criticized Prabhupada like that for, a good 1 or 2 minutes. Maybe more, I don't know. So, and then when he finished, Prabhupada said, what can I do? I have to teach my disciples how to properly discriminate. And he said, even Kṛṣṇa says in Bhagavad Gita. So, how to do? Duskritino muda narada maha. So they don't surrender to me. So Kṛṣṇa has got this discrimination. So we should also have. Okay. And later on, when they went to the temple, there was the Guru Puja going on, and that man who criticized Prabhupada also offered flower, and he fell at Prabhupada's lotus feet, and he started to cry like a baby. He understood he had committed a great offense, and he cried and cried and cried, holding Prabhupada's feet, and Prabhupada, forgave him. So this discrimination is very much essential. So we have to, and we should not be afraid, because if we don't speak, then we become implicated. This is the verse of the 11th canto. If one enters an assembly where acts of impropriety are being committed, and you fail to speak the truth, or fake like ignorance, that I don't know, then you become contaminated by the sins of that assembly. And therefore, the only person that did not become contaminated in the side of Kaurava, when Srimati Draupadi Devi was being disrobed, is Vidura. Only person is Vidura. Why? Because he stood up. What is this? Why is this lady being disrobed in the assembly of the Kuru? What are you doing, Dhritarashtra? Stop this right now. He's the one who spoke. Bhishma Dev was crying. Dronacharya was crying. They were, tears pouring. They could not bear even. They could not look even at Panchali. But Vidura is the only one who washed away the sin. He's an incarnation of Yamaraj. So what is right? What is wrong? We must speak out and not be afraid. This is the way, So even a personality like Bhishma Dev, because he took the side of Duryodhana, and on that specific occasion there was Vaishnava Parad, Draupadi is a pure devotee. She was committing a great offense. So therefore, on that assembly, there was a big separation made. Bhishma's gonna die, Vidura's gonna live. Drona's gonna die. All of them are gonna die, basically. and Vidura is going to live. And therefore Krishna made the arrangement that Duryodhana at one point he offended Vidura, and Vidura put his bow on the side of the door and he left. So he's the one who avoided the war. So Krishna consciousness, you cannot just sit down and be quiet or be comfortable. It's not possible, because at one point there's going to be a test by the Lord where you're going to have to speak out. And if you don't speak out, you become implicated, you become contaminated by these people. Okay. So this is another article also by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. We're not going to read it all. Dharma Dhambhara, a display of religion. So displaying religion only showing off. Many make great endeavors to show their religiosity externally. Many make great endeavors to show their religiosity externally. Not small endeavor, great endeavor to try to convince others that I'm a devotee. That means they put on a big show, calculated. People will call them devotees, they will call them pious, and the desire for this is strong within them. That means they really want that. They want people to call them devotees. They want people to say, oh, you're such a great pious man. Indeed, there is very little religiosity within them internally. For truthfully, when they have no feelings towards Bhagavan, they introduce themselves externally as supremely pious. It seems that they are not doing much, but what a grave offense it is to be at the feet of Bhagavan, not realizing even once how far one is fallen. Just see how he has nicely put this. It seems they're not doing much. We can say that, so what? They're acting. Let them be. Or what? Who cares? But what a grave offense it is to be at the feet of Bhagavan. Acting at the feet of Bhagavan. You dress as a Vaishnava. You're chanting Hare Krishna. But you're not realizing how rotten you are. How fallen you are. You're boastful. You think you're pure. Best of devotee. You think that Krishna is pleased with you. What does he care for you? He doesn't need you. This is another thing I've seen. Some Sahaji on Facebook. He wrote, we are part and parcel of Krishna, and Krishna cannot reciprocate this loving exchange without us. What do you mean? That Krishna needs us to enjoy? Prabhupada, again and again, he's always saying that he can create, millions of Lakshmi. The cowherd boys, when they were taken by Brahma, he expended himself and the cowherd boys were there. Krishna doesn't need anyone. He's completely independent. We need him. We are dependent upon him. But he doesn't need us. That we need to understand. He doesn't need us. Otherwise, why he can send us here to the material world and continue to enjoy? He doesn't need us. It's just like Prabhupada clearly says. It's just like a leaf attached to the root. When it is attached to the root, it is there. But when it is detached from the root, it's useless. Prabhupada uses this words, like the finger is cut off, is useless. We are useless in the material world. Useless souls. Krishna doesn't need such puffed up. But he's the father, he has got this duty, so he comes out of his causeless mercy. Therefore it's called causeless, because you're leaving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are so puny, we have left the greatest offense. Who are we to even think we have the right to leave and so on, and then we come to the material world and we commit like billions of lives of sins and all. So why should he even help us? It's just like a big man in a big company making $100 billions and all. And the little employee at the end, like, why? I don't need you, who are you that I'm going to leave and all. Who cares for you? You leave, I don't care. But what if the big man, he goes and, you've got a family to feed and all, you're not happy now, you're not making money, you come back to how much merciful he is. So Krishna, the biggest man, he's coming also to the material world to bestow his mercy upon us. And we're going to act like, yeah, I've got love for you, I'm this and that. And again, so these prākṛta-sahajiyās, they're offenders, That's why they cannot advance spiritually. So there's a song in which Bhagavan says, Ahankari papi yara, amara dekha paya natara, dina janera bandhu ami sakale jane. Those who are arrogant, sinners, do not see me and never attain me. Everyone knows me as the friend of the fallen. But what kind of pride, ahankara, do we have? If the purpose is to attain the feet of Bhagavan, then will we be successful if religion is shown externally as hypocrisy? So this is the proof. Those who are faking bhakti, those who are faking devotional service, it's the proof that they don't want to attain the lotus feet of Krishna. They're not interested actually in serving Krishna. Because here it is said, then will we be successful if religion is shown externally as hypocrisy? So external display only will never be successful. And it shows that you're motivated. You have something else in mind. It matters little whether people call us a devotee or not, or if they say we are pious or not. That is what will come to us. Sriman Mahaprabhu told the devotees, Trinarapi sunichayana tarorapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. So this is it. You see. Alright. So we just recently, there's one devotee who made a video why I left ISKCON, why I left Ridvik and joined ISKCON. So in his video, he's speaking so many inebrieties, so many things. We have done actually the video, we have already filmed. All we need to do is to edit, we have debunked. So he's assuming the position of a preacher, thinking that he knows. And you can tell just by, any experienced devotee, just the way he speaks and the way he moves, can tell that he's acting. He wants people to praise him. He's got his YouTube channel. People are, you're very good in the comment section, and that is his motivation. So, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. Janam, you want followers. You want people to be saying, yes, you're a great devotee. That is neophyte devotee, and you don't want to be rectified, prākṛta-sahajiyās. A neophyte devotee who has got bad ways, and he doesn't want to be rectified, prākṛta-sahajiyās. This is how we label, this is how we recognize. Now, let us jump into the teachings of Śrila Prabhupada. But before that, I have got this note, I've got these notes that I take so there's a file that I have which is called No Compromise actually. And recently there's this nice quote that was shared by Tadvavit Prabhu, and one of our Mataji made this beautiful poster. Okay, how do I go down here? Okay, this is Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. If to carry out the command of the Vaishnava Guru, I have to be arrogant and brutish or suffer eternal perdition, I am prepared to welcome such eternal damnation and even sign a contract to that effect. Just see his determination. Now, of course, we are nowhere near to, imitate this, eternal damnation and so on, but we should understand that this is the way to go, I will not listen to the words of malicious persons in lieu of the command of Shri Gurudev. I will dissipate with indomitable courage and conviction the currents of thoughts of the rest of the world. The relying on the strength derived from the lotus feet of Shri Gurudeva, I confess to this arrogance. Just see how beautiful that is. I will dissipate with indomitable courage. His courage is therefore he's called Simha Guru. He roars and no one could defeat him. And conviction. So, at the lotus feet of Shri Gurudev. So one who has taken shelter at the lotus feet of Śrila Prabhupada, really, he will have the courage to speak like this. And he will be able to speak out loud and clear, And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he's our Param Guru, our grandfather Guru. So we should at least become small cubs. He's the lion, we should be at least cubs, trying to roar. That would please him and Śrila Prabhupada very much. This is a quote from Śrila Prabhupada, a letter to Karandhar, Bhaktivedanta Mano, speaking, glorifying his spiritual master. When my Guru Maharaj was present, even big scholars were afraid to talk with his beginning students. My Guru Maharaj was called living encyclopedia. He could talk with anyone on any subject. He was so learned, so we should be like that as far as possible. No compromise. Ramakrishna, avatars, yogis, everyone was an enemy of Guru Maharaj. He never compromised. Some God brothers complained that this preaching was chopping technique and would not be successful. So some of Śrila Prabhupada God brothers, they criticized their spiritual master. Just see the offensive way. This is chopping technique. No one will, it will not work, this and that. But we have seen that those who criticize, they fell down. For my part, I have taken up the policy of my Guru Maharaj, no compromise. All these so-called scholars, scientists, philosophers who do not accept Kṛṣṇa are nothing more than rascals, fools, lowest of the mankind. And this is how we'll be able to spread this movement. Because how are you going to be able to push if you're chummy with everybody? no, the way you're doing is nice, you just, do like that, and no, it's okay. This movement will not be progressive forward if there's only Kanishta Adhikari. The Madhyama Adhikari must have this discrimination. And only like that will we be able to make further advancement. Okay, now, here, let me first of all show you something. Bhaktivinoda Thakur say, even if we point out a specific person, right? Specific person. Okay, here. Is this specific enough? So, here is Radhanath Swami Maharaj, if we can say, who is very nicely, with all these Mayavad Guru lighting a lamp. So there was some sort of summit you can see behind, a science for world peace and yoga, this and that. So he's there with all of them, taking picture and this. You think that Śrila Prabhupada would have partaken in anything like that? They're all offenders at the lotus feet of Kṛṣṇa. And this is very dangerous. If you go near these people, you must immediately know you're an offender. We cannot go near these people even. Actually, for us, who are not very much experienced, we should not even go near them. Because they're so powerful. What is his name? Ram Baba, whatever their name is. They're very famous, very sinful atheists, against Bhagavan, right? Against Kṛṣṇa. No, everybody's Kṛṣṇa, you're also Kṛṣṇa, this and that. We should stay miles away from such people. And if you go there and you don't, shoot in their face with the philosophy, you become contaminated. Do you think he did that? Huh? Prabhupada, one time he was invited to such conference, the Bhagavad Gita conference, something like that. And later on he told, we don't go to such place again, what's the use, So what happened? They all started to speak. Prabhupada spoke the last. They were speaking this nonsense, that nonsense, that nonsense. And Prabhupada spoke the last. He said, all of you have spoken about Bhagavad Gita, but none of you has spoken about Kṛṣṇa. How you can speak of Bhagavad Gita but not put Kṛṣṇa in the center? Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja. Or manmana bhavamad bhakto. So bow down to me, offer obeisances to me, worship me, all these things they don't want us to touch. So what is the use of such people? Therefore you don't go there, that's all. And Prabhupada later on he said, we don't do such things. Let's carry on with our own, programs. So useless things. And also he's contaminated. He likes to do this yoga. He had the yoga retreat. So yoga retreat means what? Means you're associating with their qualities. Yoga. Where is that? Here, you see? Prabhupada is saying, don't try to invent anything, roadshow or yoga village. If preaching is pure, automatically leaders, managers, funds, everything will be given profusely by Kṛṣṇa without any doubt. Because sometimes they will say, no, Prabhu, we have to do this kind of thing, yoga, this, that, because, we need funds, right? Or we need anything. So what is the use? Why do like this? It's not necessary. So now I'm kind of, I will be showing some things. So we don't want to be unnecessarily finding fault, but what is this? Join us to rejuvenate. Our goal is to strengthen you mentally, physically, and spirituality. Why we need these two people? Why should they even come? Why not just the soul? Why you have to bring a karmi who's so much in the bodily concept of life, who must be having tons of illicit sex, and someone who's a Mayavad, who'll be speculating left and right, and then the devotee? Why you have to dilute like this? Shivoham, celebrity fitness guru, fitness coach, to rabbi this and that, and then celebrity holistic mental well-being coach. What is that well-being? Well-being means Chetodarpanamarjanam. That is well-being. You clean the heart with chanting Hare Krishna. That's all. So this devotee, he should have spoken alone. Why you have to introduce that? This is nonsense. So of course, Akshaya Patra, Hare Krishna movement, they're doing good things, okay, distributing Prabhupada books, but why you have to dilute like this? It's not proper. It should not be done. And it's not necessary. So, again, about this yoga, so far the roadshow and this yoga village are concerned, these things should be stopped. Simply perform kirtan. If we divert our attention in this way, the whole thing will gradually deteriorate. That's the point. You think you're strong enough to introduce these things little by little and you think you won't get burned, you're playing with fire, because this was not introduced by Śrila Prabhupada. You think you can make some adjustment for the conditioned soul? You are not Mahā-bhāgavata. You're not sent by Kṛṣṇa. So you cannot make those adjustments. You must surrender fully to what Prabhupada has given. Even though you think that, no, it's a good idea. All these things are nonsense inventions. Such inventing spirit will ruin this movement. And this is the important thing here, because they might say, okay, now here's the argument. No, Prabhu, this is in the beginning. This is in the beginning, Prabhu. They will come because, people are attracted to yoga, people are attracted to fitness. So it's just to bring them in. But after that, then we give the real philosophy. That's all, Prabhu. So what is the wrong? And anyway, we chant Hare Krishna in such sessions. So if we advertise yoga and fitness, we might get 10 times the number of people that if we just advertise Krishna. And then 10 times more people are going to be chanting Hare Krishna. 10 times more people are going to be eating prasadam. What is your counter-argument? Right? They're all going to be chanting Hare Krishna. They're all going to be having prasadam. They might not have come and eaten prasadam or chanted Hare Krishna if you did not do that. Right? So this is how mental speculation go. You become completely convinced that, yes, I'm right, so many people are coming. What Prabhupada is saying, people may come to see. Some will become devotees, but such devotees will not stay, because they are attracted by some show and not by the real thing or spiritual life, according to the standard of Lord Chaitanya. Our standard is to have kirtan, start temples. What is this roadshow, yoga village? It will be another hippie edition. Gradually, the Krishna consciousness ID will evaporate. Another change, every day another change. Stop all this. Simply have kirtan, nothing else. Don't manufacture ideas. And then when you show them this, no, Prabhu, you don't know. You're not experienced enough. Who are you? Are you? Did you build such a big temple? Who are you to have this? So in this way, they're deviating from Prabhupada's pure instructions. And they try to pass as if, no, we are doing some real preaching. No, you're not. Because your movement is going to degrade more and more and more and more. You're going to introduce this and that, and the whole thing will be lost. Prabhupada came here to give us pure devotional service. Bas. And if there's some little contaminated way, Prabhupada will make arrangement, just like Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga. Prabhupada did have some Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga introduced. But that is his introduction. That is bona fide because of him. What is this Karma Yoga? Okay, you don't want to be a preacher, you don't want to live in a temple, surrender, that's fine, it's okay. You get a job, you work, you be nicely married with your wife, you have your children, but come to the programs and, the standard, the best example is 50% of your income, you give to Krishna, Karma Yoga. Okay, so that is not pure devotional service, but it's good. Because after all, we don't come from, it's not that everybody can jump in pure devotional service right away. And when I'm saying this, I'm including myself. I'm not saying I'm in pure devotional service, but the point is that Prabhupada knows how to guide the conditioned soul slowly to become purified. So these arrangements, that's the point here. These arrangements can be done only by the Mahā-bhāgavata who is empowered by Kṛṣṇa to preach. That's all. You cannot try that. Prabhupada did do some little, just like one time there was someone who had a Kali temple. Durga temple. So in the Durga temple there was Durga deity and there was Vishnu. And then there were some thinking, maybe we can give to you this temple. And so Prabhupada said, yes, you give to me. We can continue worshipping Durga every day by giving Vishnu Prashadam, no problem, So we will worship. And so Prabhupada said, yes. But are you on the level of Prabhupada that if you come across like such opportunity, you can do the right choice? Can you guide someone to continue worshipping Durga with Vishnu Prasad? Or you're going to become contaminated by the devotee of Durga who are going to come and, hey, Prabhu, why just giving Vishnu Prasad and all? You offer directly to Durga and all, and now Durga is here, Vishnu is there, where's Durga's husband? Shivaji, where are their children? Ganesh, and in this way, you're finished. So those compromises can be made by Mahā-bhāgavata only, and that's explained in the 10th canto, right? I know many of you know this, 10-31. So, O Lord, who resemble the shining sun, You are always ready to fulfill the desire of your devotee, and therefore you are known as a desire tree, Vanchakalpataru. When acharyas completely take shelter under your lotus feet in order to cross the fear ocean of niscience, they leave behind on earth the method by which they cross. That's the key here. And because you are very merciful to your other devotees, you accept this method to help them. So, the Mahā-bhāgavata, the pure devotee from Vaikuntha, from Kṛṣṇa Loka, who comes to the spiritual world, he will tell us, this is how you do. And because you're merciful to, us lower, smaller devotee, you accept the method of who? Of the acharya. Of the acharya who's completely taking shelter of you. Does it say here that they leave behind on earth the method by which they cross, and because you are very merciful to your other devotee, you also accept the method that they think is good? Is this the verse? No. You accept this method. Which method? The method given by the acharya. That's it, that's all. Not your method. And that was done. Kirtanananda, at that time, Maharaj, what did he invent? He was he was the first one to deviate, right? As early as, I believe, 1968. So he was introducing what? He was introducing the robes. I don't know if you've seen, am I sharing the screen now? No. So he introduced, the robe style, like the Christians, Anyway, and here you see him with a crown and a scepter, like this, crown and scepter, and then, yes, he put a deity of Lord Jesus Christ, you see. Of course, we have got all respect for Lord Jesus Christ. He's a pure devotee, no doubt. But this is not our line. This is not what Prabhupada has given us. The worship of the deity or the pure devotee is also given by the pure devotee. He's telling you must worship this. So it's the same thing. When you introduce Lord Jesus Christ, then other things will come in. Just like Hindus, they will introduce Lord Shiva, right? And then Christians, they'll introduce Lord Jesus Christ. And in this way, everything becomes contaminated. If you worship Krishna, everything is included. What is the need? Why? That is called faith. What is Shraddha? What is this Shraddha? What is faith? How do you categorize faith? So, faith means this, that if you know that only by worshipping Krishna, everything is included, that is called faith. Okay? So, yes. So here it is. Shraddha shabde vishvase kahe sudridha nishchaya Krishne bhakti kayale sarva karma krittahaya sarva karma krittahaya. All your desire, all the activities krittahaya are completed. By rendering transcendental loving service to Krishna, one automatically performs all subsidiary activities. This confident, firm faith favorable to the discharge of devotional service is called Shraddha. This is Shraddha. You don't have to introduce Lord Jesus Christ. We have got all respect for Lord Jesus Christ. We have got all respect for Lord Shiva. There's no doubt. In the Nectar of Devotion, it is said that we should develop a mood of friendship with the demigods. And we should offer respect to them, no doubt. And this is one of the items of deity worship. One of the items of deity worship to Lord Vishnu is to not commit offense to the demigods. So, we don't commit offense, but at the same time, we know that by worshipping Krishna, Lord Shiva is worshipped, Durga is worshipped, Lord Jesus Christ is worshipped, Prophet Muhammad is worshipped. Everything is included. So there's no need to, speculate. So Kirtanananda, he introduced that. Then they were wearing robes. You see here he's wearing a sort of robe. It's not like a sannyasi thing. Anyway, and all the people there were wearing robes, and we saw what happened. He became a drug addict. He was drinking alcohol. He even committed great sins. So that's what happens. So there is this letter actually. I don't know if I'll be able to find it now. That Prabhupada is saying this, Kirtanananda, he's writing that if Kirtanananda can spread Krishna consciousness throughout the whole world like I'm doing, then he can introduce these things. In other words, you show that you're empowered first of all, then we can follow. But if you're not on the level of being an empowered personality, this is the verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita, unless empowered by Kṛṣṇa, one cannot spread the Sankirtana movement of Lord Chaitanya. Not possible. So if you're not capable of spreading Krishna consciousness throughout the whole world, why should you manufacture new things? So, again, we will be showing here. I don't know if you can actually see that, but let's see if I can play it. I can video file like this, desktop, date modified. Yeah, okay. Can you see this?
A physical body is a medium for us to carry out a karma in this life and pursue the path to yoga.
We have different goals, we have different aspirations, but there is that one common thing that all of us really need, and that is good health.
A state of complete happiness can be achieved when we have complete knowledge about ourselves as spirit souls. So do join us for this event.
Okay, I think I'll stop that now. So, would you dare bringing this video to Śrila Prabhupada? And Prabhupada, this is what we have done now. We would think that this is going to be a good project. Would you even dare to approach Prabhupada with this video? This is complete deviation. And when we point that out to some of them, so they will say, no, there's nothing wrong with this, Prabhu. It's okay, people come, then we speak about the real Bhagavad Gita. But at least they come. No. That is the whole problem. You see, you are not strong enough. First of all, the fact that you are disobeying like that you're introducing new things, shows that you're Kanishtha-adhikari. That is first point. Second point, by attracting these people, like this coach, this man and this woman, Asat-saṅga, you're associating with the Asat. Are you going to be preaching to them that, hey, you nonsense, why you only lift weight day and night? This material body is a bag of stool. This is the disease. We have to give up this material body. This is the whole point. You think this man is going to listen to you? And because he's so much convinced into his nature of being a bodybuilder and all, he's going to be influencing you because you're not strong enough. Therefore, you're going to be taking his association. And you're going to be inviting all these, big guys. Oh, yeah, I want to keep doing this training. At the same time, I'll chant a little bit of Hare Krishna so that people know that I'm pious. You're going to be attracting all these dharmadvajis, who want to do only a display of religion. What happens? You do this little program, boom, you attract this whole mass of people. And then amongst them who are all, they want to be making a show of religion, they're going to come to your movement. They're going to come into your temple. Maybe they're going to become devotee and all. And then these people, when you present the real thing, when you present the real Krishna consciousness, hey Prabhu, you need to be practical. Not everybody's on the same level. You need to wait. It's not that you cannot shove this in everybody's mouth. And in this way, oh yeah, maybe he's right. And then you leave the shelter of Prabhupada more and more and more and more, and you go astray slowly. And because you continue this nonsense program, you're filling your temple with such people. And after that, when you sit on the Vyasasan and they're all there, and all their minds are contaminated with this kind of deviant philosophy. Oh, can I speak the truth? No, they won't like, even though they're chanting Hare Krishna, I know their mentality, they're not fully surrendered. If I speak, they might, so you start to water down. And in this way, you're infected. The whole temple becomes infected. Even the authorities, they won't be strong enough to kick out all these deviations. They'll become infected, and it just creeps everywhere. And you're done. You're done. Prabhupada says, these prākṛta-sahajiyās, what did he say in that purport, nectar of instruction? You don't associate. Don't associate. You kick them out. We don't care. I don't want to have 1 million prākṛta-sahajiyā. I prefer having one Madhyamadhikari. That's enough. I can associate with one Madhyamadhikari and please. I don't want thousands and thousands of prākṛta-sahajiyā. And we have shown how do you recognize who's a prākṛta-sahajiyā? Guidance. He doesn't want to change. That is prākṛta-sahajiyā. Okay. Let's remove this. All right, let's continue. So, more quotes from Śrila Prabhupada. Here. So, okay, this is from Madhya. This is very important. This is from the purport of Madhya Lila. This is very, very important because The word jiva himsa, envy of other living entities, actually means stopping the preaching of Krishna consciousness. Preaching work is described as paropakara, welfare activities for others. Those who are ignorant of the benefits of devotional service must be educated by preaching. If one stops preaching and simply sits down in a solitary place, he is engaging in material activity. Just see. Even if you're in Vrindavan, I will add this. Even if you're in Vrindavan and you sit down and chant only, you're going to be engaging in material activities. If one desires to make a compromise with the Māyāvādīs, he is also engaged in material activity. A devotee should never make compromises with non-devotees. Never. That is clear. So, we have seen recently the big leader, the big temple president of that group. He was invited by is it Ramakrishna? No, Swami Narayan Sampradaya, one of their guru had passed away. So he was invited there to preach, to speak. So he said, he started his speech with Jai Swami Narayan ki Jai. That's how he started his speech. What are you doing? This Swami Narayan is an offender at the lotus feet of Lord Kṛṣṇa. He's not following Vedas. He said, even if Kṛṣṇa comes and tells me to eat meat, I won't eat meat. And he's saying basically, you should not eat meat at all. But Vedas say that for some people, it's okay to eat meat. He's not an empowered acharya that he can make, adjustment like that. Even Prabhupada, he said on a broader spectrum, if we were to instruct some Shudras who cannot take to this movement, then we should tell them, if you want to eat meat, you wait for the cow to die naturally. I don't know if some of you have heard of that, but Prabhupada mentioned like that. If you want to absolutely eat meat, you wait for the cow to die naturally. Then you take the body, And if we have like thousands and thousands of cows and all, there'll always be some meat. So you see how Prabhupada was like practically trying to reduce the sin as much as possible. So not that, it's impossible, nobody should ever eat meat. So this Swami Narayan is like that. And his followers say that Swami Narayan is the Swayam Bhagavan. Just like, in the Bhagavatam it is said that Kṛṣṇa, Swayam Bhagavan, right? Krishna's to Bhagavan Swayam, the original personality of Godhead. But they say no. They say, yes, we accept Kṛṣṇa, we accept Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but Swami Narayan is the Swayam Bhagavan. Just see how offenders they are. So, and he's going there, associating with them, and now, mind you, I'm nowhere near his position. He's the, leader of such a great movement and all. So I have no right to criticize. But on the strength of Śrila Prabhupada's instructions, I can do so. Just like a child. What does he have to right to criticize an adult, a man? He has not been through whatever that man has been through. He's been through a whole life of trials and errors and so on. What can a child say? But if the father says this man is wicked or this man is bad, this man is deviant, then the child can say, on the strength of the father. So this is how we're discriminating. We're not discriminating on our own, nor are we discriminating for fun or to think ourselves better. No, we're discriminating on the strength of Śrila Prabhupada's instructions. And this is what we have to do. Otherwise, we won't be strong enough. If you don't speak out, if you don't criticize, if you don't say, yeah, you're wrong, then one day you'll become weak. That's all. Because you'll be associated with them. You become contaminated. That's all. So therefore, we must keep this strength, no, I don't want to associate. And if we cannot speak out, then at least don't associate with them in any way. Don't hear from them, don't look at them, don't even text them or anything. Because you will start to compromise more and more. Prabhupada, the fact is that I'm the only one in India who is openly criticizing. Sometimes they say you should not criticize openly. Prabhupada is saying openly criticizing. Again, we should know when to do so and when not to do so. Openly criticizing not only demigod worship and impersonalism, but everything that falls short of complete surrender to Kṛṣṇa. That includes those Sahajiyās way of doing devotional service. If you're not, you're introducing something new, some yoga, some bodybuilding and all, we must criticize openly. And this is what we're doing today. And we've seen also Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, even if you criticize a specific person, it is not free from fault. My Guru Maharaj never compromised in his preaching, nor will I, nor should any of my students. Is that clear enough? If we claim to be a follower of Śrila Prabhupada, we should not compromise too. If we do, we're not actually sincere about following Prabhupada. We have no real affection for Prabhupada. Following the instructions of Śrila Prabhupada and love for him are the same thing. There's no difference. This is what Prabhupada says. Here. Affection for the spiritual master and following the instructions of the spiritual master is the same. My instruction is that all of my disciples must attend Mangalarti and chant 16 rounds. Of course, there's more than that, it's not that this is the beginning. You don't do that, you're not even human, Prabhupada says. So, but affection for the spiritual master and following the instructions is the same thing. So if you deviate, if you concoct this and that, you prove that you have no affection for Prabhupada, or very, very little. We are firmly convinced that Kṛṣṇa is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and all other are his part and parcels. This we must declare boldly to the whole world, and they should not foolishly dream of world peace unless they are prepared to surrender fully to Kṛṣṇa as the Supreme Lord. And that is important. We should not think that everybody's going to hold hand, we're all going to be happy singing together, and you bring this, you bring that, and let's all love one another. It's not going to happen. This is your utopian idea. Everybody is trying to do that. Those political leaders all over the world, I think it's pretty clear that they don't care about us and they're all rascals, all of them. And what do they think? We'll make a utopian thing with my mental speculation. We'll do like this. Medicine, the medical field, it's all corrupted. Banking system, it's all corrupted. Education is all corrupted. I've seen recently this, what is that? Wu? I've sent that. Okay, we'll just go there quickly enough. Just to show you how deep this Kali Yoga is. That if you don't protect yourself, you are going to sink, my friend. Because this is so contaminated everywhere. Everyone is contaminated. Sorry, I'm showing these things here. So, just see, okay? This is WHO, World Health Organization, okay? They have released this... what is that? Okay, they want to release this new paper here. This is a real paper of WHO, World Health Organization, okay? So, it aims to equip children and young people with knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values that will empower them to realize their health, well-being, and dignity, develop respectful and sexual relationships. Equip children with sexual relationships. Who are we talking to here? We're speaking about young children, very young, like 4-year-old, 5-year-old. Sexual behavior. Okay, on page 71, educators are instructed, this is how the teacher should teach now. Educators are instructed to teach little kids from the age of 5 about kissing, hugging, touching, and sexual behavior. 9-year-old children are to be taught about masturbation, sexual attraction, and sexual stimulation. This is entering the curriculum now. Okay, so do you understand what Kali Yoga is? Do you understand what world we live in? Those 5-year-old children, they will be taught these things. Children between 0 and 4 must learn about masturbation and develop an interest in their own and others' bodies. 4 and 6 must learn about masturbation and be encouraged to express their sexual needs, whatever. It goes on and on and on. And within, it's not, if you go online and you watch some of these videos, you will see that it's not that it will come. It's already there. It's already there in the world, in some of the, you see like 2 boys together, encouraging homosexuality, 2 girls. You see here a girl speaking about kissing to a grown-up man. This is real textbooks. Okay, this one I don't even want to show. So here, two person in bed. This is real. A girl looking at the penis of the little boy. So I want to be showing you this because the world we live in is controlled by demon. Okay, Rakshasas, Prabhupada said, are governing this world. He did not dig too much into this, actually. He did not speak too much because, just like when he started to speak about the moon landing, he said, yeah, they didn't go to the moon. Then some of his students started to leave, because no, how is it? We're seeing now they're landing on the moon, they're walking on the moon. So some devotees actually left Prabhupada So Prabhupada knew that there's no use to speak like that, to speak about all these things. Let's just focus on pure Krishna consciousness. But in the beginning of the movement, he spoke about these things to some of the early devotees. He said that there's a race of bear-like men from the north of the planet that want to spread atheism throughout the world. Anyway, we're going above, off track here. But my point is this, is that if we're not holding on tight to Śrila Prabhupada's dhoti, and really only Prabhupada, look what is waiting for us. If you're not going back to Kṛṣṇa, in this life or at least the next or something, we might go see the end of Kali Yuga. Those prākṛta-sahajiyās, they might actually go towards the end of Kali Yuga and be one of those last devotees. And what's going to be the end? How much suffering is going to be? Imagine you go outside and people are like killing each other and eating each other's limbs. This is what's going to be happening, Those movies about zombies and all. This is only they're having Kali Yuga prediction, or maybe past Kali Yuga they were there and it's coming back, So anyway, so off topic, but at the same time not off topic, because this is how dangerous this world is. And we have to be convinced of that. And we have to expose everything. So my point, Prabhupada is saying we have to expose all these world peace. So everybody is contaminated. Now all these religions also are practically contaminated. All the leaders of religion, they don't know how to lead the people. Prabhupada, I quite follow the situation prescribed by you, and all these yogis are mostly bluffers. They have no substance to give. You can openly declare this fact. Try to distribute our books very widely and preach also. These bogus yogis and swamis will vanish. So this is our mission. Look what Prabhupada is saying. The prediction is this. These bogus yogis and swamis will vanish. Now, who's going to be taking part into that mission of making those yogis and swamis vanish? Is it him? Is it this guy? You think he's going to make the yogis and swamis vanish? Hey, he's helping them. Let us not brand people. What is that? Let us not brand people and reject them for their flaws. Okay. You're not telling them what is a real flaw. You're not telling them everything that we're spoken now today about proper discrimination and all. Love is less about emotions and feelings. It is more about taking responsibility to serve the beloved. Yeah, who is to be loved? How to love? You're not saying. This is how they do. They put quotes in a way that anybody and their grandchildren and their mothers can interpret in whichever way they want. Relax and breathe. Only when you take it easy does life become easy to handle. This man is the worst thing that our movement is having. Maybe there's worse than him, but he's one of the worst at the very moment. Energize your mind. Learn the art of mastering your thoughts, feelings, and emotion. Guru Gopal Das. You think he's going to be speaking about Krishna consciousness? Life's amazing secret. Our Shriman Tadvavid Das Brahmachari, he smashed him good, And we have to continue doing these things. Smash him, smash him, smash him, smash all of them. Because how will people know? People are ignorant. They don't know. They see him. Oh, he's ISKCON devotee. If you want to change the way you feel, change the way you live. Oh, ISKCON are pretty good, They speak good motivational quotes. But no, these kind of people Prabhupada speaks about in the, what is it? Ishopanishad, right? So let's go there. What is that? Ishopanishad. Why is it so far away? Mantra 5, I believe, right? No, is it Mantra 5? No. Mantra 6 or 7? No, 7, 8. I'm pretty sure some of you know what I'm looking for. Okay, just give me, okay, yeah, I think this is it. Those who are engaged in the worship of demigods enter into the darkest region of ignorance, and still more so do the worshippers of the impersonal absolute. Now, towards the end here, yes, okay. Here. The pseudo-religionists have neither knowledge nor detachment from material affairs, for most of them want to live in the golden shackles of material bondage under the shadow of philanthropic activity disguised as religious principles. They want to stay here in the golden shackles of material bondage under the shadow of philanthropic activities. What is that? Distribution of food, opening schools, giving this motivational speeches. And you can go on and on and on and on and on. This philanthropic activity, actually, it's a sign of material desire within the heart. Disguised as religious principles. disguise. You're wearing tilak, dhoti, brahmachari, and you're speaking bogus nonsense. By a false display of religious sentiments. A false display of religious sentiments. They will act. We saw that in the article of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. They put in great effort for their display. When they're at home, they'll look at themselves in the mirror. I'm going to give a class, then I'm going to quote this verse. And then, they're going to clap. And I'm going to tell the story of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yeah, I'm going to tell this story. And then I will tell them something they never heard. And then I'll sing a bhajan. And I'll have a nice haircut. And nonsense, Devotional service is something that is within. It's not external. So we should not try to act like it. If we do so, we are disconnecting ourselves. Kṛṣṇa will not be happy with us. And therefore, he will not give us the proper intelligence to speak properly. We need to be empowered. The mercy has to come down from the pure devotee. So how us, puny little entities who have no direct contact with Kṛṣṇa, will develop this faith and this strength of speaking properly? By pleasing the pure devotee. Because the pure devotee has got a direct connection with Kṛṣṇa. And if you follow his instructions, then Kṛṣṇa will empower you through the pure devotee. But if you don't please him, where are you? Where do you stand? Nowhere is the answer. They present as a show of devotional service while indulging in all sorts of immoral activities. In this way, they pass as spiritual masters and devotees of God. In our ISKCON, we have got a lot of those. They pass as spiritual masters. Actually, they have no capacity to liberate their disciples. Not only liberate the disciples, they cannot make them brahmanas. This is another important thing. I've read, this is here. Yeah. You see this? Is it here? Yes, you see, this is the verse quoted. Actually, it's Madhya Lila, chapter 6, text 279. This is very important to understand what's happening in our movement. Loha ke yavat sparshi hai manahi kare, tavat sparshaminikeha chinite na pare. One cannot understand the value of touchstone until it turns iron into gold. What does that mean? One should judge by action, not by promises. A Mahā-bhāgavata can turn a living entity from abominable material life to the Lord's service. This is the test of a Mahā-bhāgavata. Okay, so although preaching is not meant for a Mahā-bhāgavata is sent to the platform of Madhyama Bhāgavata just to convert others to Vaishnavism. So the point here, what I'm highlighting here, is that a bona fide spiritual master can turn iron into gold, meaning the iron-like quality of the person who come, with all these contamination, he can purify that and turn him into gold, which is what? A Brahmana, or even higher, a Vaishnava. So the Brahmanical quality, Samadama, Titikshva, Aryava, Jnanam, Vijnanam, Ashtikam, all these things will not develop if you have a bogus guru. Because your bogus guru is not going to be able to make you a Brahmana. You're going to remain iron. But because you want to fake it, he's going to paint you in gold. Yeah, here, I've turned him into gold. External only. Yeah, this is gold, No, my friend, you cut in half, you see within, what are the qualities? Iron-like qualities. And therefore, these people who accept bogus gurus, they cannot become purified. And what is the proof? Jnanam, Vijnanam, they don't have this Vijnana. They cannot. Yes, this Māyāvād, I can go there and I can speak with him and shake hands. I can do some yoga retreat. I can do that. Spiritual master can also fall down. Pure devotee can also fall down. Like this rascal guy, who's done the Hindu video about why I left ISKCON. You leave or stay, wherever you go, you're fallen. It doesn't matter. You're saying that a pure devotee can fall down. Do you know how offensive is this? Oh, we have many. He says like that. We have many examples in our Bhagavatam, pure devotee that fall down. And then he quotes like Brahma, Shiva, and then Durvasa Muni and Daksha. You're saying pure devotee fall down, and you speak of Durvasa and Daksha. They're already fallen. Durvasa Muni is a yogi. He's fallen already. Fallen means you're not in the spiritual world. That is fallen. And Daksha, he's a great materialist. Of course, he's a Prajapati and all. We respect him in that way. But he's not a pure devotee. And you're quoting them. That means what? That means you have no understanding what is what. You cannot recognize who's the Madhyama, who's the Uttama, and who's the Kanishta. And that means you're not Madhyamadikari. Because the Madhyamadikari can recognize. The Kanishtanikari cannot. This is the whole mess that's happening in our movement. That these bogus guru, they cannot make their disciples into Brahmanas. They cannot bring them to the second-class platform. And because of that, they cannot discriminate. And what happens? That yes, this person is a Mahā-bhāgavata. I will wash his lotus feet and I will drink this poison and I will say, my Guru Maharaj, this is all sentimental. Because these bogus gurus are cheaters and they cannot transform their followers into brahmanas. And because of that, they cannot discriminate. They remain on the Kanishta platform. And the whole Bogan movement is going to hell because of these cheaters. And devotees of God, such violators of religious principles have no respect for the authoritative acharyas. You don't follow Prabhupada's instruction, you have no respect. The holy teachers in the strict disciplic succession, they ignore the Vedic injunction, Acharya Upasana. One must worship the Acharya. And Krishna's statement in the Bhagavad Gita, Evam Parampara Praptam. This supreme science of God is received through the disciplic succession. Instead, to mislead the people in general, they themselves become so-called Acharyas. But they do not even follow the principles of the Acharya. This is what is happening in our movement. As soon as Prabhupada left, what happened? They put 11 Vyasasan and all of their titles was His Divine Grace. Did you know that? His Divine Grace, Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. His Divine Grace, Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. His Divine Grace. And then later on they were like, oh, you know what? His Divine Grace, that should be only reserved to Śrila Prabhupada. We're going to change that. Okay? And this is what there's that rascal who made that video, Hindi video, YLF Ridvik. He says, it's a new movement. ISKCON is a new movement. Give it some time. We made mistake. So what? We're becoming better. That is bogus nonsense. There's two things: descending, ascending, avaropanta, right? And forgot the other word. Descending means it's perfect. You don't have to make it better. This is a material understanding. Make it better. What is this nonsense? Just like a businessman. He doesn't know how to make business in the beginning. He'll make trial and errors. That's all right. That's a material process. But spiritual process, evam parampara praptam imam rajasuyu vidu. It's coming down through disciplic succession. And then Imam Vishvashvate, I spoke this science to the sun god, Vivashvan. And he spoke it to Manu, who spoke to Ikshvaku. There's no question of we need to try, make it better. If you follow Prabhupada 100%, you are perfect from the very beginning. There's no need to concoct anything. Do you know that the system, the Guru system in ISKCON was changed 14 times? Do you know that? You're going to ISKCON, you're saying, oh, you're offending all these big, great devotees. If they're so great, why do they have to take shelter of a bogus system who's electing by 2/3 vote? Did Narada Muni was elected by a 2/3 vote system? Did Madhavacharya? Were they elected by 2/3 vote system? This is bogus. And they claim that this Ridvik system is bogus. Why? Prabhupada spoke of it. When they asked him, they said, what do we do when you're no longer here with us? How should we confirm initiation in the future? Prabhupada said, yes, I will appoint some of you to act as Ridvik Acharya, officiating Acharya. Is that called Ridvik? Ridvik, yes. And then later on they say, no, he's speaking of grand disciple. Yeah, grand disciple, that's all right. We are grand disciple, we are grand Shiksha disciple of Prabhupada. Our Shiksha Guru is His Grace Sunda Gopal Prabhu. In this way, we are grand disciples, And if you have the Shakti, like Prabhupada, to become to the level of Mahā-bhāgavata, then all right, then you are empowered by Kṛṣṇa and you can make adjustments here and there. But are you there, my friend? Are you on that level of Śrila Prabhupada? Can you go to San Francisco and bring, 50,000, 100,000 people for your Ratiyatra festival? And when you raise your hand, Prema Bhakti Jaha Hoite Avidya Vinasha Jate, and everybody bow down at your lotus feet? Can you make the Black Panther bow down to you? Can you make the Hells Angels bow down to you? These things happened when Prabhupada was present. People were going in tears, crazy, they were feeling Śrila Prabhupada. Simply seeing him, they saw him golden many times. The devotees were saying like that, they saw him golden. The way he was speaking, he was enlivening the whole world. In 11 years, he wrote like more than 50 books. He opened 108 temples, he convinced, and he defeated every single person. Not that he's going, to an interview and some guy is telling him something, and then he becomes bewildered. He doesn't know how to say, I hope I can find this now. I hope I don't know if I should have tried to find that before, but unfortunately. So this big guru in ISKCON, okay, he was interviewed by some, when he was still quite young, he was still skinny at that time. Now he's relatively, overweight. So there was this one reporter. He came to him and he said, why are these, I think this is it. Please tell me this is it. I want to show you. You've seen how Prabhupada speaks, right? You've seen how Prabhupada is speaking to interview and reporters and all, how quick-witted he was. Okay, yes, this is the one. Now, I don't know if there's audio. I hope there will be. Let me try to to share this. Video file, extra camera, slides, share screen, share tab audio. Okay, that will work. Yes. All right. Okay, here. Now you might say I'm an offender. I want to be showing you how he did.
Everybody has the same spiritual needs. They want to be closer to God. They want to know what is the purpose of life.
And the answer comes from an Indian tradition?
You see, truth is not a monopoly in anybody.
You sound like you might be American.
I was born in America, and I've been living here for 30 years.
Really? What name did you grow up under?
Well, I grew up under the name Gordon.
Yeah. So am I right in thinking the chief practice of Hare Krishna people is chanting the Hare Krishna?
That's the essence of it.
In fact, I even thought, was this gentleman, were you chanting it just now, under your breath?
They're constantly.
Constantly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. And now, why are they clustering around you right now?
They're like disciples and devotees who, if they get the opportunity to follow me around, they'll do it.
Really? Why?
Ask them. I don't know.
Okay, you heard that? You heard that? Okay, now you might say I'm offensive, but you heard how he spoke? Why are they following you around? Oh, if they get the opportunity, they kind of following me around. Why is that? I ask them, I don't know. Now you might say I'm finding fault, but Prabhupada would never speak like that. Why would he? Because this is the duty of a disciple, to follow the Guru and to try to learn from the spiritual master. Why would he make his disciple feel, improper? They're following me around. I don't know. You ask them. You ask them. The Prabhupada was not like that. He was quick-witted in front of those reporter. Why do you travel in a Rolls Royce? Yes, spiritual master should be offered actually, God rides in a golden car, and spiritual master should be on earth just like God. So actually this Rolls Royce is not good enough. Right in his face. Do you like to work? I work more than you. I'm an old man. I'm traveling all over the world. You cannot work more than me, at least. So Prabhupada was quick-witted with these fellas, Not that, why they're following you around? I don't know, you ask them. So what is this that is happening? He's not a Mahā-bhāgavata. He's not capable. And another thing, he's being carried away by a great number of disciples. This is a sign of one who's not a bona fide spiritual master, because spiritual master clearly cannot accept many disciples. Now, of course, you might say, but Prabhupada said that. Well, that's the thing. You're comparing yourself to Prabhupada. That's the mistake that you're doing. And what is all this thing? Then, well, it's better to have a spiritual master than nothing. I'm not saying don't have a spiritual master, don't have a physical present spiritual master. That's all right. But don't stop this show of pretending to be like on that level where they can wash your feet and drink your feet, This is what they're doing. You wash the feet and drink, excuse me? Are you on that level that your feet are charana panma? Really? I think it's more mushroom panma, So, charana mushroom. So here, we see what is going on. It's all a show only. That's all. It's a show. They are not on the Mahā-bhāgavata platform, and these Kanishta Adhikari cannot properly discriminate. Sorry, I'm trying to find. Maybe 419, 418, is it? I'm sorry. So this is Prithu Maharaj. When Prithu Maharaj, he was born, right? And he was praised by the professional reciters. This is the chapter here. So let me share this. So Prithu Maharaj, when he was born, I believe he was born by a fire sacrifice from the body of King Vena. So, praise of King Prithu by the professional reciters. So this is how it works, right? The professional reciters of a king, they will always give praises. But he was just born, because he's not born as a child, normal child. He's born out of the body. So this is what occurs here. They praise him. They praise and praise and praise. The whole chapter is praises. Now, how is King Prithu replying? He's saying, okay, this is not it. Then where is it? Next one maybe. Guru Maharaj becomes angry at the earth. I cannot be here. Okay, then I think I should go here. Just give me a second. This is very important to understand what is happening here. Swambhuva, this is the story of King Vyana, King Prithu's appearance and coronation. Okay, this is it, I believe. Yes. Okay, so Canto 4, Chapter 15, Bhagavatam. So they praised him, and he replies, King Prithu said, this is 4:17:22 onwards. King Prithu said, O gentle Suta, Magadha, and other devotee offering prayers, the qualities of which you have spoken are not distinct in me. Why then should you praise me for all these qualities when I do not shelter these features? I do not wish for these words meant for me to go in vain, but it is better that they be offered to someone else. Now, in ISKCON, every single disciple, when he worships his spiritual master, when you learn deity worship in ISKCON, before doing deity worship in the morning, you must say, Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivakacharya Ashtotara Shishimad. Then you must put your spiritual master's name. This prayer is for a Mahā-bhāgavata, Ashtotara Shata, 108, who's connected directly with the gopis, the 108 principal gopis. Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa, we're speaking of the highest crest jewel among devotees here. So why this prayer is there when your spiritual master is not on that platform? Obviously, how many ISKCON gurus are there now? Do you know? The list of all ISKCON initiating guru, there's like, I don't know how many, like 50 or something, or 80, I don't know. So do you think there's 80 Mahā-bhāgavata on the planet at the moment? Even if there was one, the whole world at the moment would be feeling his presence. Just like when Prabhupada was here. Hare Krishna was a household world. We were in the movies, we were in the publicities, we were in the cover of great magazines. Everybody knew us. Now you say Hare Krishna in New York City. Hare, who, what are you talking about? Who are we? We're becoming forgotten. This is not spiritual life. Spiritual energy expands. Anandam buddhivardhanam pratipatam purnamrita svadanam. Spiritual energy is supposed to become more and more and more and more and more. Not less and less and less. If it's less, that is material influence. More means spiritual influence. So why is it that if you look at following Śrila Prabhupada, you see the 1972 San Francisco, 1970 San Francisco Rath Yatra Festival, 1974, New York, wow. It was amazing. You had like hundreds of brahmacharis there, all potent and boom, and you had like thousands and thousands of people in the street. It was unheard of. We could not see that. So why is it dwindling again and again? That means it's a fan, and you have disconnected, and the fan is slowing down. So you might think that, you're going, quite hard and all, but we must go quite hard because we're, who else will do it? You show me who is a devotee who is speaking like this, who is doing these things. So we must. So in our ISKM, under the expert guidance of His Grace Sundar Gopal Prabhu, he's showing us that no compromise. What Prabhupada says is what Śrila Prabhupada says. You might be pretending to follow Śrila Prabhupada, but then we can see by your behavior that you don't like to. For example, some people, they say, yes, Prabhupada, we follow Śrila Prabhupada and all, and this, but they keep long hair and long beard. Is that what Prabhupada said? Long hair and long beard. You're saying that you're following Śrila Prabhupada. Well, Prabhupada doesn't want that. What is this? Cleanliness. So cleanliness, here, Prabhupada is saying, now, for our practical life, we are known all over the world as shaven-headed. It is not. Now we are becoming hair-headed. We are forgetting shaving because there is little leniency. Immediately, faulty things are creeping in. So we should be known as shaven-headed, not long hair-headed. This is discrepancy. At least once a month, you must be clearly shaven-headed. In the bright fortnight, on the day of Purnima, 4 days after Ekadashi, once in a month, in the bright fortnight, you must be shaved. It is not desirable that in grown-up ages also you should be chastised. That is not desirable. That is also difficult. Because when a disciple or the son is grown up, if he's chastised, then he breaks. So before being chastised, we should be conscious that this is our rules and regulations. We must observe. Therefore, it is advised, Chanaka Pandit, okay, so after 16-year-old disciple of the son, he should be treated as a friend. Because if you chastise when he's grown up, then he'll break. That is also another risk. So anyway, so Prabhupada is saying, with folded hands, I request you. Prabhupada said that during a class. With folded hands, I request you, don't become hippies again by growing hair. Keep your head clean at least once in a month. That is my request. And beard is the same thing. Beard. Beard, how you even spell beard? Yeah, anyway, so beard is same thing. Same thing. Prabhupada speaks like there was one devotee who said, why Advaita Acharya kept a beard? Prabhupada said that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not like to instruct, but you should not follow this example. So you claim that yes, Prabhupada this and that, but oh no, maybe you are more advanced than Prabhupada. You are on another, this Vaidhi Bhakti, these rules and regulations is for neophytes, you know. I'm on the Raganuga Bhakta platform, you know, so I can keep a long hair, long beard. What is this? What is this nonsense? If you're so advanced, won't you think about the less advanced and show by example? So we should be following the principles. You know, people, they might say, no, these are just external things only. External things. Following Prabhupada's instructions, telling us with folded hands, please shave your hair. And this is an external thing. This is the very core, you know, affection for the spiritual master and following his instructions are non-different, Prabhupada says. This is just a quick note, you know, I want to point out for someone. So, let's go back. Let's continue with this non-compromise. Yeah, we did not finish that purport. Oh, we jumped here and there. Yeah, we're jumping many places. Okay, so Prithu Maharaj is saying like that. O gentle reciters, offer such prayers in due course of time when the qualities of which you have spoken actually manifest themselves in me. The gentle who offer prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead do not attribute such qualities to a human being who does not actually have them. Sakshat daridvena samasta shastre uktas tathabha vyayate sadbihi. So Sakshat daridvena, he is like Hari. He's on the same level as Hari, same quality as Hari. That personality you can praise as Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa. And even the Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishta Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta. Don't try to replace that. Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Pachare Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadi Shatarine. So Prabhupada is the one who Nirvishesha Shunyavadi. He will kick these things out. And he did it. And he can empower us to do it also if you follow strictly. Who is doing Nirvishesha Shunyavadi now? Paschatyadi Shatarine. Who's doing that? Show me. Who is meeting those big leaders and speaking in public and, you know, against all these deviations taking place? No. Only compromise and compromise and compromise. Are you seeing? Yeah. What is this? ISKCON Delhi. No, not ISKCON Delhi. Sorry. ISKCON what? Where is it here? Definitely in India. There's no need to ask, right? So, see this? What is that? You want to make Krishna Indian? You want to make Gauranita Indian? No, Prabhu, because it's Independence Day, you know, the sentiment of the people and that. And why you have to bring the Lord into your nonsense thing and hang this nonsense flag behind? This is nonsense, this flag. It has no meaning. Bharatavarsha is not great because of those three colors and because of this so-called independence. What independence you have? You're still controlled by your senses. You're still like licking the boots of the Westerners. They do Hollywood, you do Bollywood. Everything you're doing and you think you're self-independent, nonsense things. And you want the God, you want the Supreme Lord to be contaminated like you with your bogus ideas. And when this was presented to Gopal Krishna Swami Maharaj, he said, yeah, people, when it was shown to him that people are criticizing this Maharaj, and he said, these people don't know how to preach. Meaning this is preaching. That is preaching, you know. Attract the mass. Attract those who are, nationalists and so on. No, this is not the process. So, we should give those praises to someone who actually possesses such thing, not to someone who's faking it. So, here Prabhupada says, if a man who does not factually possess the attributes of a great personality engages his followers in praising him with the expectation that such attributes will develop in the future, that sort of praise is actually an insult. And I want to say something. That this is the argument they say. Because obviously, Tamal Krishna, he said to Prabhupada, well, I've studied myself and all of your disciples and none of us are qualified to be guru. Prabhupada said, And then he said, maybe one day it'll be possible, Tamal Krishna said. And Prabhupada said, yes, I shall choose some guru. I shall say, now you become a Tarais, now you become guru. I'm waiting for that. You become all guru. I'm waiting for that, Prabhupada says. This isn't a conversation. I'm not speculating. And this was only 6 months or 7 months before Prabhupada left the planet. And what, 7 months later? 11 Mahā-bhāgavata and 11 Vyasasan? Really? And they say, no, we had done the mistake, but, throughout the years after Prabhupada departed, they still made progress, and now they have come to the platform. But here Prithu Maharaj, Prabhupada is saying in the purport, if this man is engaging his followers in praising him, hoping that one day I'll make it, one day I'll be Mahā-bhāgavata, so it's okay, you know. I'll take as a deposit for now in the bank, all these praises, and when I'm a Mahā-bhāgavata, I'll cash out. No, my friend, it's actually an insult because you're not on that platform. You're engaging your followers in insulting you. So it's a society of cheaters and cheated. How could an intelligent man, competent enough to possess such exalted qualities, allow his followers to praise him if he did not actually have them? Are you Sakshat Daridvena? Huh? Are you Prema Bhakti Jaha Hoite? Does Prema Bhakti emanate from you? Praising a man by saying that if he were educated, he might have become a great scholar or a great personality is nothing but a process of cheating. A foolish person who agrees to accept such praises does not know that such words simply insult him. So it is an insult only. This is a good example. Someone who's like illiterate, right? Well, you cannot read, but if you would have gone to university, you would have been such a great man, you know. What is the meaning of this? There's no meaning. So it's a process of cheating. Cheaters and cheated. The guru is not bona fide. He cannot transform his disciples from iron to gold. They cannot become bona fide brahmana. They stay on the Kanishta platform, and therefore they don't know who's a Mahā-bhāgavata, who's a Kanishta, who's a Madhyama. And then the whole thing is everybody's like blind, and well, at least there's someone there on the throne, and we're here down here, so at least this is right. This is correct, right? Yeah, the external features only attached to the all these formalities only. There must be a fire. You know, Prabhupada was burning some wood and there was a fire for the initiation ceremony, and Prabhupada was speaking some mantra and he was like chanting on the beads. So let's do all this, then it should be fine, right? Then it's okay. Then everything looks nice. The same picture is the same frame. No, nonsense, because the real substance, what is that? Kṛṣṇa se tomara, Kṛṣṇa dekte paro. You can give me Kṛṣṇa. You cannot. That's the point. The whole point of this is to get Kṛṣṇa prema. But if you're contaminated, Kanishta Adhikari, how you will give Kṛṣṇa? That's my question. How you will give Kṛṣṇa? Not possible. Therefore, it is said here in Bhagavatam that thereafter accompanied, this is 10-18, Bhagavatam, 10-18. Thereafter, accompanied by the plenary expansions, the fully opulent Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is all auspicious for the entire universe, was transferred from the mind of Vasudeva to the mind of Devaki. Devaki, having thus been initiated by Vasudeva, became beautiful by carrying Lord Kṛṣṇa, the original consciousness for everyone, the cause of all causes, within the core of her heart, not within her womb. This is Kṛṣṇa is not born from the womb. Just as the east becomes beautiful by carrying the rising moon. Now, Prabhupada says, as indicated here by the word Manastaha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead was transferred from the core of Vasudeva's mind or heart to the core of the heart of Devaki. We should note carefully that the Lord was transferred to Devaki not by ordinary way for a human being, but by diksha, initiation. Thus, the importance of initiation is mentioned here, unless one is initiated by the right person who always carries within his heart the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One cannot acquire the power to carry the Supreme Godhead within the core of one's own heart. That's it. You are not going to make it, sir. However nicely you're faking it and however you're trying to act. It's not going to work. Prithu Maharaj continues, as a person with a sense of honor and magnanimity does not like to hear about his abominable actions, a person who is very famous and powerful does not like to hear himself praised. That means these people are not actually famous and powerful. They are infamous and weak. Therefore, they like to hear themselves being praised. King Prithu continued, my dear devotees, headed by the sutta, just now I am not very famous for my personal activities because I have not done anything praiseworthy you could glorify. Therefore, how could I engage you in praising my activities exactly like children? This is it. The children, they make a show, you know. Oh, I'm mama, you are papa, we'll do this and that. Or you are king, yeah, all hail the king, all hail. It's only external show. Obviously, they're not kings and all of these things. Same thing is going on. Same thing is going on. Dharmadvajis, display of false religiosity. So this is going on in our movement. So many sahajiyās are there. Everyone is claiming to be a big preacher. But everybody's compromises, introducing their own ways of doing bhakti. How is this going to be pleasing to the Lord? Huh? If you don't surrender to the pure devotee, how in the world will you be able to please Krishna? There's only one way we can please the Lord. Only one way. And that's surrendering to the pure devotee. And there's many verses on that, in this connection. Lord Krishna told Arjuna, those who are my direct devotees are actually not my devotees, but those who are the devotees of my servant are actually my devotees. No, Prabhu, I don't need to follow the instructions. I'm a Raganuga Bhakta, you're a Vaidhi Bhakta, so you like all these rules and regulations, but I'm Raganuga. I can go to Krishna directly. The person who has not at any time received the dust of the feet of the Lord's pure devotee upon his head is certainly a dead body. And the person who has never experienced the aroma of the tulasi leaves from the lotus feet of the Lord is also a dead body, although breathing. Now, the dust means the instructions, Prabhupada says. If there's no chance to serve the spiritual master directly, a devotee should serve him by remembering his instructions. Sometimes they say that, how you can serve Prabhupada? He's no longer here. Hey, nonsense. Don't you know about Vani? Don't you know that Prabhupada is still here by his Vani? You lack this faith, but I'm not going to be contaminated with your materialistic vision. I know he's still here, and if I follow his instructions, I'm serving here. There is no difference between the spiritual master's instructions and the spiritual master himself. No difference. So why are you stressing that Prabhupada is no longer here present? In his absence, therefore, his words of direction should be the pride of the disciples. If one thinks that he's above consulting anyone else, including a spiritual master, he is at once an offender at the lotus feet of the Lord. What does that mean here? That means maybe Prabhupada is absent. That's all right, but his representatives are here. And if you don't go through these representatives, you don't surrender to such representative, such an offender can never go back to Godhead. That's it. If you're not capable of following Prabhupada's instructions 10% strictly on your own, then that means you need help. That means you need Guru. Who is capable of following 10%? They say, I'm a disciple of Prabhupada and this and that, but yet doing all nonsense. It is imperative that a serious person accept a bona fide spiritual master in terms of shastric injunction. Shastric injunction, not in terms of dress. What is he dressed like? Srila Jiva Goswami advises that one not accept a spiritual master in terms of hereditary or customary social and ecclesiastical convention. One should simply try to find a generally qualified spiritual master for actual advancement in spiritual life. Who is qualified? Someone who can guide you properly. So now Prabhupada is not there, but that doesn't mean that there's nobody who can guide. You need proper guidance. You need to be brought closer and closer to Prabhupada and Krishna. So someone who's acting in that way, he's also Guru. He's Shiksha Guru. He's the transparent via medium between Prabhupada and yourself. So what is the meaning of not having Guru? Oh, Guru is not there, Prabhupada is not here. No. So these cheaters, we finished that purport. These cheaters, they are, what is Prabhupada saying? Instead, to mislead the people in general, they themselves become so-called acharyas, but they do not even follow the principles of the acharya. These rogues are the most dangerous elements in human society. Just see. Because there is no religious government, they escape punishment by the law of the state. They cannot, however, escape the law of the Supreme, who has clearly declared in the Bhagavad Gita that envious demons in the garb of religious propagandists shall be thrown into the darkest regions of hell. Shri Upanishad confirms that these pseudo-religionists are heading toward the most obnoxious place in the universe after the completion of their spiritual master business, which they conduct simply for sense gratification. Now you might say, whoa. Going to hell, demons, Prabhupada is saying here, demons and all going to hell. Okay, well, does that apply also to like Vaishnava Guru, even if though they deviate after all they're chanting Hare Krishna? So, okay, then we can say, well, let's see. Are there any verses that will speak of that? So here, it is said, okay, I'd like to read that also. This is from Bhaktivinoda Thakur also. After the time of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, those faithful to him kept apart from non-devotees to avoid contamination. Seeing this, the personality of Kali sent his representatives in disguise to pollute the Vaishnava Sampradaya. That means that our Vaishnava Sampradaya, all this Vaishnava world, who is in so many different names, ISKCON, Gaudiya Math, ISKM, you name it, HKM, doesn't matter. Within these, they are, so somewhere, they are the representatives of Kali. Okay? Posing as Vaishnavas, they spread their wicked doctrines and appeared so intelligent and devoted that only pure devotees all right, but the Kanishta, he cannot. Most devotees, because most devotees are Kanishtas, not only the most neophyte, and not only the most neophyte, just see, were enchanted by their tricks. In this way, Kali's agents expertly introduce karma, jnana, anyabhilasa in the Vaishnava Sampradaya and cause Shuddha Bhakti to vanish from the world. So this is why we cannot compromise. We must protect Shuddha Bhakti. Full surrender to Krishna. No karma of, you can also have big muscles and be healthy. What is that? Fitness guru, mind guru, and spirit guru. No jnana, mental speculation, and anyabhilas, not still have so many material desires. So, you see this? That means Kali is there. Kali has infiltrated. Now, another thing here, Bhaktivinoda Thakur also says, therefore, if the number of Vaishnava renunciates increases, it must be ascertained that some evil work of Kali is transpiring. Just see. Because renounced Vaishnavas are naturally rare. It is a fact. Someone who's very, very renounced, who's on that level, he's very rare. So, am I sharing? Yeah. So, just like Prabhupada, he said that among his godbrothers, none of them was qualified to be Acharya. Only him actually was qualified. So it's very rare. So if there's more and more sannyasis, more and more gurus and this and that, then Kali's work is there. See this? Now, this is it. Okay, that's another good one. They said, it's okay. They became guru after Prabhupada's departure. They were not fully ready, but in due course of time, they became ready. No. Prabhupada says the tendency for becoming guru is there, but after all, every one of you should become guru. But why mature attempt? And becoming guru doesn't necessarily mean Diksha Guru. Shiksha Guru is the same thing. The term guru, Prabhupada says, equally applies to Shiksha and Diksha Guru. Guru means who's guiding. Who's guiding by example. That is guru. So according to his capacity, that is my question. Everyone will become guru when he's expert disciple. But why this immature attempt? Guru is not an intimate. When one is mature, he becomes guru automatically. That Prabhupada says, you become guru when you are immature and automatically you will become perfect. Is that what he said? No. So, that's it, And he's criticizing here. My other god brothers, they're also doing that, but we never attempted during the lifetime. Anyway. So they're doing, but he's criticizing. Again, then automatically he becomes guru. Yes, first of all, one has to become very dear to Krishna, then automatically he becomes guru. And when one becomes very dear to Krishna, then he becomes guru. And by the mercy of such guru, Krishna becomes merciful. These are the statements of Shastra. So anyway, and I wanted to, now we're saying, does this apply to Vaishnava guru, like this demon and going to hell and this and that? Okay, so here it is. This is from... there's different verses, there's Hari Bhakti Vilas and so on. So, one who accepts disciples for personal service and fame is unfit to be guru. So even if he's dressed as a Vaishnav. Many gurus, not one or two, many gurus take advantage of their disciples and plunder them. They exploit their disciples for sex and use them to amass wealth. But a guru who can remove the miseries of his disciples is very rare. They exploit their disciples for sex, right? Just like this man, he was in South America, he's always with women, always touching like this, Just see, he brings this woman's hand near to his genitals, holding his disciple's hand, being a sannyasi, rascal fella, this guy. So many of them are there. And not only in other, Gaudiya Math and this and that, look at this. So anyway, Paramadvaiti, he's been kicked out of ISKCON, but that doesn't mean that he's bona fide. This one, he's still in ISKCON. He's still giving sorry, I just want to make sure I'm sharing. He's still giving initiation Mahavishnu Swami, I believe his name is, huh?
Of the advancement of knowledge, it is childish civilization, it is childish civilization, because they have no future, because they have no future. It is childish civilization. It is childish civilization.
Huh?
It is childish.
You like this? So, if you are in ISKCON, you are supporting a system that is allowing such guru to give initiation. He is still there in the list of initiating guru. He is still there. That means he's still so-called preaching. Why don't they kick him out? So how can you be protected in a society that allows such person to be guru? Right? Therefore, we do not say ISKCON, we do not say Gaudiya Math, we do not say ISKM or this. This is not how Sastra classifies. How does Sastra classify? Kanishtadhikari, Madhyamadhikari, Uttamadhikari. That's it. Even in our ISKM, if this kind of stuff comes, the ISKM will be bogus. Nothing is rubber stamped. Always trying to trick by separating the appearance from the substance is the trick of Kali. Just like gold. We had gold before. Gold was substance. We had real money. Now what do we have? Paper. One of the trick of Kali. Kali is making a magic, you know. You don't have nothing anymore in your hands, but you think you're rich. Marriage. What was marriage before? Marriage was for life. It was a vow. Sacred fire, the devotees, the Lord. And you know, that's it. What is marriage now? A piece of paper that you sign. Oh, this is marriage. And if I remove that, I can sign another piece of paper and then there's no marriage. Again, separating. Diplomas. Big university. I'm PhD. I'm this and that. You see, this is I'm a qualified person. But nighttime I'm going to the brothel, seeing prostitute and drinking and so on. Again, you separate the substance from the rubber stamp, rubber stamp, rubber stamp, rubber stamp, rubber stamp. Same thing in our movement. Rubber stamp gurus. Mahā-bhāgavata, Om Vishnupād Paramahamsa. But he cannot make you a real brahmana. And you remain Kanishta because they want them to remain Kanishta. Because if they become Madhyamadhikari, then they'll make classes like this and their whole thing will collapse. That's the thing. So therefore, we need to give this knowledge to people so that people can become educated, so that they can see how to discriminate properly. If you stay on the Kanishtadhikari platform, you will not last. That's all. This is the way it is. So therefore, we must rise up. We must rise to the Madhyamadhikari platform. A guru addicted to sensual pleasure and polluted by vice, who is ignorant and has no power to discriminate between right and wrong, or who is not on the path of Shuddha Bhakti, must be abandoned. So, even you might think, how can I give up my guru? No, must be abandoned. Shastra is saying. If a guru, disregarding the standard for giving diksha, gives the mantra to his disciple out of greed or mundane affection, he is cursed by the demigods along with that disciple. What is the standard for giving diksha? Prabhupada says, Diksha Guru means Mahā-bhāgavata. If you're Mahā-bhāgavata, if you carry Kṛṣṇa within the heart, that is our standard for giving diksha. Otherwise, you cannot give diksha. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said the real diksha guru is the Mahā-bhāgavata. He said Madhyamadhikari cannot be a diksha guru. He can only perform the initial, you chant Hare Krishna, you do like this, you do like that. He can help out a little bit, but he cannot give you Krishna. So he's cursed. So, even in our ISKCON or any other place, if out of greed or mundane affection, he's cursed by the demigods along with that disciple. One who assumes the dress and position of an acharya, who speaks against the conclusions of Srimad Bhagavatam and other scriptures. What is the conclusion? For example, pure devotee cannot fall down. That is one of the conclusion. And you're saying he can fall down. Or perform kirtan opposed to the proper glorification of Sri Krishna. Certainly goes to hell for countless lifetimes, along with his disciples and whoever else hears such non-devotional talks and kirtanas. So don't think it's something easy. You can play with that. You're not playing with some 2-cent thing here. What is the other thing? Ecclesiastical. Yeah, this is another thing. Prabhupada, so many places he's saying. This is Jiva Goswami Bhakti Sandarbha. One should not accept a spiritual master based on hereditary, social, or ecclesiastical convention. Such a professional guru should be rejected. One must accept a qualified spiritual master who can help one advance towards the ultimate goal of life, Kṛṣṇa Prema. How he can help you if he doesn't have Kṛṣṇa Prema? Not possible. Ecclesiastical, a group of person like clergymen who elect, who tell you who is guru, exactly what's going on in ISKCON. This is Prabhupada. It is imperative that a serious person accept a bona fide spiritual master in terms of shastric injunction. What is shastric injunction? Prabhupada has given Mahā-bhāgavata, can be Diksha Guru. Shri Jiva Goswami advises that one not accept a spiritual master in terms of hereditary, customary, social, or ecclesiastical convention. Ecclesiastical, a group of people tell you, yeah, this person is Guru, you must accept because we say like that. And ISKCON GBC 2004, clause 409, continuing the so-called disciplic succession. As a matter of utmost ecclesiastical responsibility. Obviously, these fellas don't read Prabhupada books. Otherwise, they would not be using the exact same word that Prabhupada used as not to do. Ecclesiastical convention, you should not accept like that. As a matter of responsibility, ISKCON's ultimate managing authority, the GBC, regulates who within ISKCON may perform the service of initiating disciples. When the GBC allows a devotee to take up the service of initiating, it does not thereby endorse him as an Uttamadhikari or a pure devotee. GBC doesn't endorse him. He might be Kanishtha-adhikari, or certify his having achieved any specific state of realization. Any. He might be a demon. Also, we don't know, because any specific state. Rather, the GBC indicates that it has no objection to his initiating disciples within ISKCON. Why, sir? Why you have no objection? Just above, Prabhupada is saying ecclesiastical convention, and Prabhupada is clearly saying Diksha Guru means Mahā-bhāgavata. So why you have no objection, sir? You are not following Prabhupada instructions. Within this context, the choice of whom to select as one spiritual master is ultimately the prospective disciple's own responsibility. Wow, very nice, Mr. GBC. You are electing some bogus people to become pure devotee, and then they sing some song with the ukulele and remove their teeth, and then when I'm like, oh, I have been cheated. This man is not a pure devotee. My whole spiritual life is shattered. And then the GBC... Don't blame me, my friend. It's entirely your own responsibility. And everybody in ISKCON will be pointing, you wanted to be cheated. Kṛṣṇa is in your heart. He said you were cheated. It's your fault. Yeah, but who is the cheater, my friend? Who is the person that Kṛṣṇa sent to cheat me, my friend? GBC. This GBC, bogus GBC is nonsense. They're all fallen. And because they have taken the highest post in ISKCON, they will be the most punished by Yamaraj. They will have to punish. They think that they can do all this stuff and bring Prabhupada's movement to the ground and destroy it, and you can just go on and have a good time? Really? You think that Kṛṣṇa is such a cheap God that he's going to be allowing you to be a bogus nonsense deviator? No, my friend, you're going to have to suffer for it. So therefore, this no compromise principle is so important. If you want to stay close to Prabhupada, we cannot at any time allow anything to deviate, And this is why I'm so indebted to His Grace Srila Gopal Prabhu, because he won't pull up with anything. And this is the... Prabhupada is saying, now they're talking nonsense. We can detect that. Here's a jackal. So how to detect? You must have knowledge first of all. You must know. Then you know who's a jackal. So we have to expose them. They're not leader. They're jackals. So jackals cannot anymore rule over. That should be our propaganda. Not only scientific, all political things, social things, everything. Everything means also religious. Our religious organization. They should be all kicked out. They should be replaced by Kṛṣṇa consciousness. Then people will be happy. This should be our program. This propaganda means to make people happy. It is not a business to make business and take some money. And so many jackals have been arrested and resigned in that many jackals. Okay. So here, and this is what is going on in our movement now. Look at this. Because we're doing business, we're getting money from these rascals, government. So if you expose me, then I will not get money. And if I expose you, you will not get money. So Prabhupada is speaking of all the cheaters, like government, scientists, whatever. Let us remain together and let them remain fools. That's all. This is it. If a common man like me can understand the whole policy, Prabhupada is speaking of himself humbly, saying common man, how the scientists will not understand? But they have made a promise that don't expose me, I'll not expose you. And let us take money from the government. This is going on. So this thing is going on everywhere. All these groups of leaders, scientists, governments, religious organizations that are appointed by ecclesiastics, all know they're wicked. They know that this guy is wicked. He's been appointed like me. He's wicked just like me. My heart is dirty. Your heart is dirty too. But I'm not going to be exposing you. And you don't expose me. And therefore, when they meet together, they have their so-called big kirtan and their whole party. But someone who's advanced, someone who's understand, by Prabhupada's mercy, he can immediately know that, no, you're a bogus cheater. So this is it. No compromise. So there's so many... Yes, our presentation of Krishna consciousness must be always very bold. If we are king, we must act like king. The idea is if we speak the truth, those will hear, okay, this is important, those will hear who are intended to hear by being qualified or prepared. Not that this is for everybody. Don't expect that everybody will become a devotee. No way. So those will hear who are intended to hear by being qualified or prepared. It is not that we should compromise to attract the mass. We are after the class. So we want a few sincere devotees. We don't care about millions, No, not at all. No. So this is it. We want one moon. Better one moon than many stars. So we don't want cheap popularity. I was very glad to learn from Garga Muni that Brahmananda refused to place my identification with so many cheater swamis. So if a cheater swami is inviting you to speak at the departure of his swami, why you go? Why do you even go? We shall always remain distinct from all these cheaters. If we can convert one person in Krishna consciousness, that is our life, a success of life. We don't want too many rascals, followers. Let us perform this movement sincerely with faith in Krishna, and people will gradually appreciate our service. Don't try to invent anything, Roadshow Yoga Village. Okay, this we've seen, So modernize, they say like that, modernize. There is no change. Not that modernize, the Shastra should be changed. No, that is nonsense. That is not Shastra. Shastra cannot be changed. Circumstantially, it will be changed. Seasonal changes. No, that is not Shastra. Shastra means it is perpetual. What Krishna said 5,000 years ago, or Krishna said some 40 million years ago to the sun god, Iman Vashvashvate Yogan Proktavan Hamavyayam. He says, I'm talking to you that Puratam Yogam, not that because it has passed millions of years and now it is a different time, so we have to change. No. So there's so many quotes. I don't think we'll be able to go through all of these. Okay, this is 7:15:48 Bhagavatam. It speaks of all things that, material desires within our heart. Establishing booths for distribution of food. Distribution of food. If you want to distribute a lot of food, which is not prasadam, and performing activities for public welfare, these are all symptomized by attachment to material desires. If you want to be all this food distribution, public welfare, like this person has got a dream, we're going to help him get his job dream, public welfare, this is because you are materially contaminated. Okay, I think now we will go to the comment section. I'm starting from the beginning. What is this? What if you're not around devotees at all, considering where I live, and I don't know how or what I should do, and I always feel bad for not associating with devotees? So devotee association means mainly hearing from them and following what they say. That is association, just like the 6 ways of association we spoke in the beginning. So to accept invitation, to go invitation, accept a gift, offer a gift, but revealing one's mind and hearing one's mind. You might not be able to eat prasadam with the devotees. You might not be able to give gifts. Well, you can ship some gift to some devotee somewhere. But especially hearing. That is devotee association. Devotee association means hearing. We must hear. So humbly hearing from the devotees, associating with them. Then your faith will increase. You'll become more and more convinced. And then you'll follow the instructions of the Mahā-bhāgavata, Śrila Prabhupada. And in this way you'll get strength. So if you want, you attend such sessions, you join our groups. I'm always putting this link of our group. So we have got this Telegram group, which is very nice, very potent. A lot of young bhaktas are there, and they associate with one another. And this week I did twice the chanting, because it's Telegram, right? You can have those video calls live on Telegram. So this link I did twice the chanting session, and I thought it was so nice, Somehow or other I had to chant some rounds, and I saw that they had a chanting session. So I'm putting the link here. It's only for Prabhujis. this group is only for Prabhujis. We have another group for Matajis. Okay, so I've posted there. You go in the comment section, you join this Telegram group. We have chanting sessions, we have reading sessions of Prabhupada books together, we have classes, lectures like that, we have Ishtagoshti sessions. So if you try to keep, you share what you do, whatever little thing, you cook something for Kṛṣṇa, you share, whatever realization you have, you share, questions you have, you share, or you can ask your questions in such sessions. And this way you have sadhu sangha. That is sadhu sangha. Sadhu sangha does not mean that I'm next to the devotee, I can touch his hand, but then I cannot, I don't follow what he says. It's not it. No, not by real association. Real sadhu sangha means to follow the instructions of the advanced devotee. That is real sadhu sangha. So meanwhile, because you don't have the opportunity, I'm not saying physical association is not needed. It is very much needed also. That is a fact. But if in your situation at the moment, you do it. Actually, we have so many young bhaktas and bhaktins. They cannot associate physically, but they attend these sessions, and they listen, and they reveal their mind, how to do this, how should I do, and they feel it. They feel that, yes, at least there's something, it's going on, you know. But, okay, sorry. Yes, so this is very important, devotee association, so what you're doing now. But if you don't follow the instructions, then even though you associate with devotees, that will not work. So our instructions are the same as Śrila Prabhupada. You must wake up in the morning, chant Hare Krishna mantra. You should find a fixed round. 16 rounds is the best. If you cannot, 8, 10, or 12. Every day you do that. You wake up early in the morning, you know. You do this. Eat only Krishna prasadam. Follow the 4 regulative principles to the best of your ability. And attain these lectures. Read Prabhupada books. And you'll gain the strength. There's no doubt you'll gain the strength. Okay. Okay, what is this? So Tej Pratap, sir, in India generally it happens that wife indulges in deity worship and other religious activities, whereas husband goes to earn money by doing job business. This is our two-wheeled vehicle of life. Yeah, that is not bad. If the wife can handle deity worship at home, that's nice. But she should take guidance. Both the husband and wife should take guidance. Not that I go to Kṛṣṇa directly. This is Kanishta mentality, that I worship Kṛṣṇa, the deity, but I don't worship his pure devotee. Not like that. Kṛṣṇa will not like this. So there are rules and regulations to worship the deity at home, you know. Best worship is that actually one should first of all take initiation and become second initiated, Brahmana initiated, and then he will worship the deity nicely. So meanwhile, okay, of course, you might already have the deity in your house, or you may be talking about someone else. But the real thing is knowledge. You see, we have to get knowledge, transcendental knowledge. That's the whole point. Because if you simply worship the deity, and Kṛṣṇa is not that pleased, you know, because, I mean, what do you do? You give him some bread to eat and things like that. What Kṛṣṇa wants is devotion. And this devotion would be proof that we have devotion to him by pleasing his pure devotee, not by jumping over the pure devotee and worshipping him directly. He will not like this. And this is spoken here. See here. So this is Bhagavatam 329, 24. Okay. So he's saying, the Lord is speaking here. My dear mother, even if he worships with proper rituals and paraphernalia, a person who is ignorant of my presence in all living entities never pleases me by the worship of my deities in the temple. And Prabhupada says, the real purpose is to exhibit one's loving devotion to the Lord. The offerings themselves are secondary. If one has not developed loving devotion to the Lord and simply offers many kinds of foodstuffs, fruits, and flowers without real devotion, the offering will not be accepted by the Lord. We cannot bribe the personality of Godhead. He is so great that that bribery has no value. You see. So therefore, we must, surrender to the pure devotee. Then Kṛṣṇa will become pleased. Not that I jump over the pure devotee, I do what I want, I keep eating onion and garlic and this and that, and no, only by surrendering to a pure devotee. There's no other way that you can please Kṛṣṇa. No other way. So, here, O twice-born sages, by serving those devotees who are completely freed from all vice, great service is done. By such service, one gains affinity for hearing the message of Vasudeva. So we must serve the pure devotee Śrila Prabhupada, and by this, we'll like to hear about him, about Kṛṣṇa. Our faith and our desire to hear about Kṛṣṇa cannot arise if we don't serve Prabhupada. And Śrila Prabhupada, the pure devotee, means serving him, means following his instructions. So, okay, so this is it, So we should read Bhagavad Gita as it is. I hope you're reading Bhagavad Gita as it is from Śrila Prabhupada. Okay. Isn't it a good approach? So yes, it's not a bad approach. Like I said, it's okay, but it should be properly done. As far as my knowledge, husband must be religious and must read Shastra, otherwise whole family will be religious. So yes, you see, so there must be proper guidance, and not any Shastra. It must be Shastra presented by the pure devotee. Okay, so you've been answering. Okay, let's go see further if there's any question. Hare Krishna, we're happy to see that there are some French-speaking devotees also. Okay. Krishna Prema will not be obtained by the mercy of the Lord. So he's saying basically it's not just by Krishna Prema will not be obtained. No, Krishna Prema can only come from the benediction of the Lord. So by chanting Hare Krishna, we will be able to attain Krishna Prema. Well, actually, it's not like that. We have to be freed from the offenses. And to be freed from offenses, we must follow the instructions of the pure devotee. There's no roundabout. So actually, Krishna Prema will arise by the mercy of the pure devotee and not by the chanting itself. The chanting, of course, is needed. We must do it. But we chant on the order of the pure devotee. That's the whole thing. Because Hare Krishna Mahamantra, so many people are chanting in India. Even before Prabhupada came to the West, Allen Ginsberg, he was chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra before Prabhupada. He introduced, I think 3-4 years before Prabhupada, this Hare Krishna Mahamantra in the West. But did he make any devotee of Krishna? So, you just see here. If it's not necessary, then Prabhupada shouldn't have utilized Allen Ginsberg also. If it's not necessary, shouldn't have utilized Allen Ginsberg also. It's funny that you say Allen Ginsberg. I was just speaking about him. So I don't know what is your point. If it's not necessary, then Prabhupada shouldn't have utilized Allen Ginsberg also. Okay, I don't know the point exactly, but yeah. Thank you for your guidance. You are real and living up to your name. Prabhuji, Lord Chaitanya was very strict. I'm still a bit of a rascal, to be honest with you, but I'm eager to learn and change. Purification is happening. Layers are falling off me every day. All I do is hear. It's reassuring to know it's a good start. I will be extra careful who I listen to. You made everything crystal clear. Jai, Haribol, Jai Śrila Prabhupada. Yes. So we have to be careful whom we listen to. Because if we listen from someone who's contaminated, we'll also be contaminated. It's not that anybody that speaks Krishna Katha is actually bona fide, So we should speak from Shastra. This Ishvara Gauranga Das even support Gaur Gopal Das and his nonsensical preaching. His argument is, see for him how many people coming to ISKCON. Yes, that's the thing. The Prabhupada said, we don't care. These people, they will come. It's actually worse, because you attract some people and then your temple is filled with these people, these Sahajiyās. And then you cannot reform them because they don't want to be reformed. And then Prabhupada said, this Shuddha Bhakti will be vanished. So yes, he's answering, sort of quantity isn't equal to quality. Most of such people has never read Bhagavad Gita even. So what's the point to have so many? Yeah. Prabhupada said, better the cow shed be vacant than have many cows that don't give milk. That's a fact. We don't want such cheap devotees, Yes, I would be scared to show Śrila Prabhupada that. Yeah, that movie, that thing, big muscle. Yeah, ISKCON nowadays even not strong against feminist bogus gurus like Sadguru. They are contaminated. Yeah, they compromise. That's the thing. You compromise, you finish. What is prākṛta-sahajiyā, Prabhu? There was a voice cut. Prākṛta-sahajiyā. Prākrita means materialistic. Sahajiyā means one who takes everything very cheap. So those devotees, they think this this Krishna consciousness is very cheap, and they are contaminated. They're prakrita bhaktas, which means they're full of material desire, Sahaja means this. Everything is cheap, So this is it's very dangerous. I've seen this quote recently from the Padma Purana. No, I'm not reading Padma Puranas because I'm gathering different verses for a video I'm about to do. That devotee of Vishnu, who does not practice the acts prescribed in the Shrutis and Smritis, becomes a heretic and would stay in the Raurava hell. Just see. Devotee of Vishnu, stay in Raurava hell if you don't follow Shastra. So these Prakrita Bhaktas, they are all contaminated. They make a show, a show of, I'm very advanced. I'm a Raganuga Bhakta. I don't need to follow all these rules and regulations. So here, this is from Antya Lila. You can read this. No, I'm not at all knowing where I'm quoting from. I'm just scrolling in my notes. Śrīla Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur comments that persons who are actually very poor because they possess not even a drop of love of Godhead or pure devotional service falsely advertise themselves as great devotee. This is a prākṛta-sahajiyā. Although they cannot at any time relish the transcendental bliss of devotional service, empty shell. A class of so-called devotees known as prākṛta-sahajiyās sometimes display devotional symptoms to exhibit their good fortune. They will fake it, as if they're immersed in the bhajan, they'll shake their head left to right. Sometimes they even force themselves to cry. They are pretending, however, because these devotional features are only external. The prākṛta-sahajiyās exhibit these symptoms to advertise their so-called advancement in love of Krishna. But instead of praising the prākṛta-sahajiyās for their symptoms of transcendental ecstasy, pure devotees do not like to associate with them. It is not advisable to equate the prākṛta-sahajiyā with pure devotees. When one is actually advanced in ecstatic love of Krishna, he does not try to advertise himself. Instead, he endeavors more and more to render service to the Lord. So there's a lot on this, but so that's it. This is a prākṛta-sahajiyā. How can we join the Women's Eye Scan group? Okay, so I'm putting here my number. You can contact me on WhatsApp, and then I will put you in touch with one of the Matajis, because we don't want to be putting the Mataji's number in the public forum here, but my number I don't mind. So you send me a message, you tell me you want to join the Mataji's group, we'll give you the contact of one of the Mataji who's in the group. So we must attract sincere devotees, serious ones, one who really wants to get Krishna Prema. By being serious, we attract serious, not less than that, exactly. What you are, you will attract, Birds of a feather flock together, that's all. So if you create a pure group of devotees, even though you're few, you are going to be attracting Krishna, right? I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me comes knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. Somewhere else he says, everyone is seating as in a machine. The living entity is seated as in a machine, which is controlled by the three modes of material nature. I control the wandering of all living entities, as if seated in a machine. Yes. So therefore, Krishna knows that here's a group of pure bhakta, Shuddha bhakta, Madhyamadikari, or even higher. So Shuddha bhakta. I will send other who are sincere to get Krishna Prema to that group. And those who want to act and do this, what is that? Let's share that too. What is these things? They called it what is that? Radhadesh, is it? Radhadesh Mellows. Is it? Yes, Radhadesh Mellow. What kind of name is this? Radhadesh Mellow. You keeping your beard, you're keeping your ear pierced, you look like an aborigine with your hair and all, and you are Radhadesh Melo, you're having mellows of Shrimati Radharani, of the birthplace of Radharani, really? 7 hours ago, it's going on now, live. Radhadesh Melo Madhava. So this is called a Sahajya. I don't care, I'm exposing, You don't cut your hair, you keep this beard, you have all these ugly things in your ears. You think that this man wants to advance? No, Prabhu. He's bringing a lot of people to ISKCON, Prabhu. It's okay, He's more of a Raganuga Bhakta, He's not Vaidhi, he's more of a Raganuga. Well, yes, and then who do you attract? You attract Adoraganuga. Here's another beard. So, and then they have Prabhupada here. This is just a show. You're not worshipping Prabhupada. You're doing a dishonor. And there's so many of them in ISKCON. And not just ISKCON, so many of them. And they'll say, no, no. Why? Because they're not serious. They don't know the philosophy. They take part in this whole thing of cheaters and cheated. We've seen Prithu Maharaj. He's clearly saying, that if you instruct, this is only play. It's just children playing. This is what they're doing. I'm a devotee. You're also a devotee. Don't forget me. I'm also a devotee. We're both good. No. What goals does Swami Narayandas have? They don't have goals. They say that this bhakti yoga is a means to attain something higher. Actually, worship of Swami Narayan is the highest. What Kṛṣṇa says, Man mana bhava mad bhakto mad yajimam namaskuru. You think of me, offer obeisances. Swami Narayan, basically, they say you do that to Swami Narayan is higher. So there are cheaters. We've seen it. They're going to hell. These are the worst element in society. Śrila Prabhupada said, if one will convince with this philosophy and will become a devotee, I will think my movement is successful. Just like, yes, one devotee only. Just see. How can I show mercy or ignore classmates around who make fun of me? So now you're not on the level of showing mercy. Now you're on the level of receiving mercy. So you should take mercy from more advanced devotees. You should hear from them and become convinced. Your faith is feeble now. Don't try to preach. That is the whole point. This class is about acting where we are. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, everybody become guru. Yes, we don't disagree, but desha, in your own realm. If you can instruct your wife at least to become devotee, your children, then you're a guru for your family. If you're a little bit more powerful, then go and preach to the neighbors, do a Sunday feast. If you're a little bit more powerful, then, do Sankirtan in your whole neighborhood. Then you're the guru of the whole neighborhood. You're the most spiritually advanced person in your neighborhood. Therefore, you're a guru. You should show them. You come, you eat Kṛṣṇa prasadam, you do this, you can preach. You're a little more powerful. Your whole country, you try. So in this way, but not artificially. So, at the moment, you are not on the platform of giving mercy or anything. And don't discuss these things with anybody. Don't go and talk about Krishna consciousness to your classmates and all. Don't try that. Now you hear. Now you read Prabhupada books. Now you chant Hare Krishna and eat Kṛṣṇa prasadam. I'm really curious on what your advice is for suicidal people like me. Well, suicide means thoughts in the mode of ignorance. So that means your mind is fully immersed in ignorance. So these thoughts will come. I'm pretty sure you also procrastinate things that you have to do, right? You sleep a lot, maybe like 8, 10, 12 hours a day. You sleep late at night, maybe. So these things are all qualities that emerge from the mode of ignorance. You have to get rid of that. I had some suicidal thought in my life too. At one point, I was very, very down in my life. I was not chanting at that time. I was not trying to become a devotee. I tried. I was doing all this weird stuff, trying to know if there's ghosts, if ghosts really exist and all. And I became really in the mode of ignorance. I was becoming crazy almost, And one day I felt a presence, like a ghost presence near me, and it scared me so much that I stopped, But it's only many years later that. So it's not impossible. Why I'm saying this is because I was there, and now somehow I have little success. So it's doable. You can do it, but you must follow. Keep associating. Join that group and listen. He makes his own quotes instead of spreading Prabhupada's message. Yeah, I think he's like a Radhanath Swami disciple, right? So like guru, like follower. I mean, Radhanath Swami quotes. Let's see what good things we can learn from him. We take photos everywhere we go, but often we don't capture the moment. Hey, this is deep, right? Wow. Hey, I used to take pictures, of my friend drinking beer and all, but I think I'll capture the moment more, I'll be more present in my drinking habits. When there's love in our heart, only love will come out. Okay, I want to love a prostitute. Okay, is that fine? Yes, that's fine, no problem. Did I say somewhere who to love? No, I did not. Things can give pleasure to the mind and senses, but only love can give pleasure to the heart. And ultimately, that is what we are looking for. Everything is shady. Everything is left and right. You can understand whatever you want. Forgiveness is actually a beautiful and holistic experience for the heart. So this man here, this man is a cheetah number one. I don't care he's a sannyasi or anything. He's a disservice to Śrila Prabhupada and the whole movement. The essence of spiritual life is simply to use our free will properly. And what is? Just tell me how. Why do you keep saying the thing without saying what? This is how you can recognize a rascal. He'll always leave space for your mind to act because he wants to please you. He's a servant. One thing is certain, uncertainty of life. Oh wow, he's so clever, this fella. Kicking his face with a boot, Prabhupada would say. Anyway, I think it's enough. I don't want to contaminate everybody's mind. Good words are also found in books. Anyone can say, but who will preach pure Krishna consciousness? That is the question. So Aroha Panta, Avaroha Panta. So these are ascending and descending, So we are the descending process. What the Acharya are giving us, descending. It's perfect, perfect, perfect. Not that our ISKCON movement is very new. We have done many mistakes, but things are being rectified. You change the guru system 14 times, and you have 2-3 moving gurus, and you let them preach like that. And don't you see that these gurus are destroying themselves? They're falling sick. They're getting cancer. Obviously they cannot, deliver their disciples, and all those disciples are contributing to push forward this bogus system of 2/3 vote. I mean, it's crystal clear. For someone who's properly connected, it's crystal clear. 1996 GBC meeting, Jiva falls down, they say. This is another topic. This is very intricate. We're not going to get into this, but Prabhupada says back to Godhead, right? We're going back there. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Krishna Prema is eternally there in the heart, eternal. So there's no limit to time and space, eternal there. Nitya Krishna Das, you were eternal servant of Krishna. So how can I be eternal if I was not in the past also? Anyway, so the point is we follow Prabhupada. Prabhupada says back to Godhead, back to Godhead. Fire, fire, fire. That's how we should be with the offenders. Thank you so much by leading by example, Prabhu. We cannot take them lightly. Yes, we should not. And all of us, future preachers of our movement, we need to develop that mood, And how to develop? As I said, if you make a mistake, better do it on that side than on this side. Better you criticize too much than not enough. Because first of all, protect your own spiritual life. And this is how we draw the line. We push them away. They come, no, you stay on your border. I don't want you. You must... Okay, anyway, this is all the things. Okay, now we're starting a bit of fight here. Okay, so here you see. So this is utter nonsense. You're speaking bad about His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, who was authorized by Prabhupada to give initiation, and you're speaking bad about Maharaj. Where was he authorized? Where was he authorized? You show me. If you show me by letter or anywhere where Prabhupada says, I authorize Jayapataka Swami Maharaj to initiate, I will accept right away. Right away I will accept. But everybody has got their own stories, Oh, Prabhupada said this, Prabhupada said that. I'm sorry. But Prabhupada at the very end, when they asked him, May 28 conversation, they asked him, oh, grand disciple. Yeah, Prabhupada said, okay, grand disciple, when I order you to become guru, you become regular guru, that's all. Prabhupada says like that. Where is the order? Order is not there. You think, anyway, you want to go with Jayapataka Swami Maharaj and the whole crew, you go ahead. You go ahead. I'm not here to please anybody. I'm not here to low shift my preaching. But you should study this matter. That's obviously, if you come from their group and you come here and you hear me speak like that, you'll obviously be feeling offended. That's not my point. But you should study this matter very, very thoroughly, We've done a lot of videos on this matter, and you can see how they're not capable of keeping up with our philosophy. We understand it clear cut, and therefore we can defeat their highest sannyasis, who are supposed to be big, big scholars. So here I'm sharing a video that we've done against they would say maybe the most scholar sannyasi in ISKCON, one of the most scholar sannyasi. So, what is his name? Bhakti-Vikas Swami Maharaj. So we're not trying to be offensive. We have said in the beginning of the video, we don't want to be committing any offense. We are just, pointing out that what he's saying is not proper, because he's promoting a philosophy which is not correct. Like pure devotee can fall down. So many things. So here I'm putting those two. If you're actually serious, if you're not just sentimental, just saying I'm offending Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, if you're serious about your spiritual life, which you should be, and you should prove by doing research, then I'm telling you, watch these two things. Watch these two videos. And then you judge for yourself who is speaking better. Because we speak from Prabhupada books. That's our system. That's all. Okay, please don't offend, now I see there's some fighting concerning Gaur Govinda Swami. So, no need to call anyone rascal and this and that. We should speak from Shastra. We should see according to also result and all. But, we have made many different videos on this. We cannot clear everything in one conversation, right? Nobody's going to agree to the other one just by a couple of messages. So, yeah. So at least don't be offensive. No, I'm not offensive. I am not offensive against His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, because he is deviating. So if I'm showing that, it's not offensive, it's defense. Prabhupada says there's two things. Fault finding. Yes, fault finding is when you cannot come to this platform. And, and defending, this is the same thing that when Sachi, is it Sachi? Sati, she was, okay, let me find it so that, okay, so this is 4:417 Bhagavatam, okay? So I'm not fault finding, I'm defending. There's two things when you fight. You offense and defense. I'm not offensive, I'm defensive. Sati continued, because her father blasphemed Lord Shiva. So she says, if one hears an irresponsible person blaspheme the master and controller of religion, one should block his ears and go away, if unable to punish him. But if one is able to kill, then one should be by force cut out the blasphemer's tongue and kill the offender. And after that, one should give up his own life. Anyway, of course, this cutting of tongue is not for us, especially in Kali Yoga. So here, you see, the argument offered by Sati is that a person who vilifies a great personality is the lowest of all creatures. But by the same argument, Daksha could also defend himself by saying that since he was a Prajapati, the master of many living creatures, and one of the great officers of the great universal affairs, his position was so exalted that Sati should accept his good qualities instead of vilifying him. Same thing. So, Sati is saying, you offended Lord Shiva. That's not good, right? But then Prajapati Daksha could say, well, I'm a great personality also, you're offending me. So the same thing is going on. They are offending Prabhupada, and we're pointing this out, saying they're offenders, and then you're saying, no, you're offending Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. No, he committed the offense against Śrila Prabhupada. And here the answer to that argument is that Sati was not vilifying, but defending. Defending. This is what we're doing. We're defending. The movement is going to hell at the moment. Do you know that they're going to split in half because of this woman guru issue? And it's bound to happen. When you don't put Kṛṣṇa in the center, what happened? Before it was Bharata Varsha, one planet. And then this so-called United Nation, they just know how to plant more flags. You don't have God in the center, you will just divide and divide and divide and divide. You don't have Prabhupada in the center of ISKCON, it will just divide and divide and divide. ISKCON is going to break in half. That's going to happen. It's going to be ISKCON India and ISKCON West, or outside of India. It's going to happen very soon. Even Bhakti-Vikas Swami Maharaj, he said it. We're heading towards this. Better break it now. He said it with his own words during an interview. So it's going to happen. Why? Because the words of Śrila Prabhupada are being, not followed. And you're saying he authorized him. He did not authorize at all. You don't know. You are not aware of the history. Make your proper research. Okay. Why did God create us with hair and beard? Yeah. Why did God create dogs with hair also? Yes, hair and beard is natural for animals, if you want to continue in that path, just like we have got two canine to eat meat, right? So animal means he's eating meat because he doesn't know how to do other things. So animal like men, they will eat meat. So Krishna has made a concession, you can keep two canine so that you can eat meat. So if you want to continue in the animal cycle, that's all right, but you have to become an animal again. So similarly, if you want to look like an animal, you want to act like an animal, you have to become an animal again. So he created us with hair and beard. Is that a very good argument? And that therefore hair and beard is there, I should keep. Then why you cut them? Why you trim them? And you just let it grow. Nails also, what? Nails on it, why you cut them? Don't let it cut. Go ahead, do the Guinness record, What kind of argument is this? You have long hair and long beard, I believe. Okay, please don't say it here. So there was some argument. Please don't get into this. Yes, you're asking twice. I'll reply twice. Why did God create hair with animals? This is, it's an animalistic propensity. Prabhupada says we shave up, and then we shave up. That's all. You don't want to shave, then don't shave. It's up to you. Śrila Prabhupada said that this so-called nationalism is symptom of bodily conception of life. No doubt ISKCON of today is a deviated organization. Yes, and we're not proud of that, It's not that we like to say ISKCON is deviating and us ISKM we're perfect. No, if ISKM starts to do the same thing that is happening there, the ISKM is going to be bogus. So it's not about this or that. It's about following the instructions of Prabhupada. So we don't like to see ISKCON like that. But this is why we have to fight. We have to establish what is Shuddha Bhakti, what is Prabhupada's real instruction. So there's a war going on. So we should, collaborate and try our best to expose that. Dwarka ISKCON. Okay, thank you, Mataji. So it was Dwarka ISKCON. So, Maharaj, what is his name? Gopal Krishna Maharaj, he was supportive of that. He authorized that. Okay, yes, all right. A lot of fighting again. What's timing? What is timing of classes? If you speak of these classes, it's every Thursday, 5:30 Indian time, or 5:30 p.m. Indian time. This is it 5:30 p.m.? Yeah, 5:30 p.m. Indian time. Every Thursdays. Okay, Hare Krishna, can you please address where Radha Vallabha Sampradaya, or known as Harivamsa Sampradaya, is a bona fide or one or not? Dandavat Pranam. Now the thing is, you see, Harinam,
Yes.
Whoa, what was that? It scared me. Siri thinks I was speaking with it. The thing is, we must chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That is Shastra. It doesn't matter which Sampradaya. It's not that this Sampradaya doesn't follow Shastra. So Kali Santarana Upanishad, it is given, the Mahamantra is there, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And it is especially for the age of Kali. So it doesn't matter which Sampradaya you say you are, you must chant this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And if this is Shastra, and we see that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has appeared in Brahma Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, and Prabhupada, who's empowered, has spread this Sanatan Dharma, this Hare Krishna consciousness movement throughout the whole world, then why not pick up from the most prominent Acharya? Why discriminate that I belong to this Sampradaya? What does it mean belonging to this Sampradaya in the first place? Okay, maybe your parents were there, your forefathers and all, but ultimately it's all Krishna Bhakti, right? So why not go where we are certain that there's potent? So follow Śrila Prabhupada. We're not saying that this Sampradaya is not bona fide. Everything is according to quality. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that we recognize Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra according to quality. We recognize Kanishta, Madhyam, Uttama according to quality. So if there's some sincere devotees in that Sampradaya, it might be possible. But God himself, Krishna himself, appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in our Sampradaya. And now Śrila Prabhupada is the one who, his books will be the book for 10,000 years. So why not join the camp? When I went to one ISKCON devotee's house and said we can do kirtan, they said we do that all day in the temple. So let's talk, they said. I was, what? Yeah, so, this is not that all ISKCON devotee will do like that. I know many ISKCON devotee, they will want to have kirtan at home. But, this kind of, that's the thing. It's not that ISKCON devotees are all bad, we're all good. ISKCON devotee, if in ISKCON we have devotees who have got bad qualities, then they should also be kicked out if they don't want to follow. I'm working for ISKCON Bangalore, content writer. I thought both Ritvik groups are bona fide. Some of these points are a bit disturbing and bewildering. How does one handle this? Well, we all, it's not easy to boil our spiritual life to pure devotional service. Sometimes we might be entangled. My father, he was in ISKCON. My parents, they joined in ISKCON Montreal. My father performed 20 years of service in ISKCON. And after that, he learned about the Ritvik system, and he had to leave that. He lives literally 5 minutes away from the temple, even now, even today. He lives 5 minutes away from the temple by walk, ISKCON, and he doesn't go for decades. So he had to make this, all his friends, every single one of his friends practically was there in the temple. His Guru Maharaja, who is Gopal Krishna Maharaj, he had to renounce. He had to do all this. It's not easy, but now at least he's got Prabhupada, and he's not partaking of the whole offense that is going on. So this is disturbing, and I'm very sorry that is disturbing. I don't want, but there's hope. It's not that it's finished. If you join sincere devotee, you can get proper association. So, and I'd like to show something else. Concerning this, so I'm sorry again to show this, but since you're from ISKCON Bangalore and we're on the topic of all of this, then I feel obliged to share this.
The last few years, we have recognized another important dimension of impact and engagement this program has been having. We call it the Dream Project. Basically, this is to look for dreamers among these children who come from underprivileged families and to mentor them. We came across one girl in a school in Bangalore. Her father was a driver in a public transport company. And while she watched television in her house, or while she was riding her bicycle to the school, she had developed an aspiration to become an actress. So we tied up with Bangalore School of Speech and Drama and mentored her so that she can perform. Already she has given a few performances, and we shall continue to mentor her till she achieves her dream. We came across another boy, son of Vivanta, and for the first time he entered a star hotel, and the executive chef there soon acquainted him with the kitchen, and in a few weeks of training, he became quite a confident chef. And now, Taj School of Hotel Management has offered him admission already, and they are very confident that we can groom him to become a world-class chef. We have also...
Okay, I think we get the idea. So what is this? What is that? Did Prabhupada ever spoke of this in his books, letters, classes, anywhere, that we should help children achieve their dream, get their dream job? In a hotel, 5-class hotel, what does that mean? You'll be serving meat and fish, my friend. 5-star hotel. 5-star hotel vegetarian only? Where? This dream of dancer, you become a dancer. And this, so I'm sorry, this is deviations. And I'm very sad of that, because they are a Ritvik system. They follow Ritvik systems. We are in line with this. They distribute Prabhupada books. That's nice. But why pollute the thing? Prabhupada would not be happy with this. Prabhupada said, don't introduce anything. Keep it pure. Now, Chanchalapati Prabhu, Chanchalapati, Vice President of ISKCON Bangalore, is standing on a stage in front of innocent people who have no idea what bhakti is, what karma yoga is, they don't know how to discriminate spiritual from material. Zero. He's standing there with tilak and dhoti saying this. We help this kid get this job. We had this kid go to that school. So people who are there, they will accept that as what ISKCON do. This is what Prabhupada has brought. Because we are representative of Prabhupada. We're standing, holding tilak, dhoti, all these things. And we're speaking like that we're helping this person achieve this, that person achieve that. So people will misunderstand. They will think that this is it. This is what Prabhupada has brought. So the whole thing is lost. You are not at all helping the person. And this is described here. What we should do. The proper understanding of what's going on here. So I'm sharing my screen. Here it is. The whole point is to detach people from being attached to this karma kanda mentality, karma yoga, karma mentality. If someone is ignorant and addicted to the path of samsara, like every single conditioned soul who want to achieve their material dream, how can one who is actually learned, merciful, and advanced in spiritual knowledge engage him in fruitive activity and thus further entangle him in material existence? Right? If a blind man is walking down the wrong path, how can a gentleman allow him to continue on his way to danger? How can he approve this method? No. You also teach him how to chant Hare Krishna and these things. And okay, all right, you want to speculate like this, I'll give you this point, even though it's not at all authorized by Prabhupada, but I'll give you this point. What about this TED show where I don't know how many people were in the room and how many people have watched that and will be watching in the future? How about them? You are supporting their mentality for karma kanda activity, for karmic activity. All of them, wow, you see these people, the Hare Krishna, they're pious and they do these things. I also do that. I also do this kind of welfare. So I'm in line with these people. So that's nice. I've got the Vaishnava community behind me. This is exactly what happened when His Grace Madhu Pandit Prabhu went to speak to that Swaminarayan thing. I was preaching to some bhakta and he was in the Swaminarayan line. And I was preaching to him, you must come to Prabhupada, this, that. I was trying my best. And then one day, he's the one who sent me that. You see, Swaminarayan is not bogus. Even the temple president of ISKCON Bangalore, he's there and he says, Jai Swaminarayan ki Jai. You see, just see the service. I'm trying to preach to that person that Swaminarayan is bogus, slowly, without, punching too hard. And then, because he saw Madhu Pandit Prabhu giving a speech as Swaminarayan, he's endorsed. You see? Jai Swaminarayan ki Jai. He started his speech like that. He's endorsing. That is a disservice. I'm sorry I know it must be hard to see all this, but we have to make sacrifice. Becoming devotee is not a cheap thing. Here, let me make that big here. This is 5:15 Bhagavatam. If one is serious about going back home, back to Godhead, he must consider the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the summum bonum and chief aim of life. If he's a father instructing his sons, a spiritual master instructing his disciples, or a king instructing his citizens, he must instruct them as I have advised. Okay, as I've had advised. So Lord Rishabhadev's instruction is so strict. If you want to read 5:5, okay, Canto 5, Chapter 5 onwards. Without being angry, he should continue giving instructions, even if his disciple's son or citizen is sometimes unable to follow his order. Ignorant people who engage in pious and impious activities should be engaged in devotional service by all means. They should always avoid fruitive activity. If one puts into the bondage of karmic activity his disciple, son, or citizen who is bereft of transcendental vision, how they were not so much entangled because they had this nonsense dream of becoming a chef or that, which is all bogus. And now that you have helped them achieve their dream, they are more entangled now because now I've got, I can achieve my dream of being a big cook or a great dancer. Or not. You have entangled him in further karmic activities. That is the understanding. And even Narada Muni, Okay, now I'm sharing this here from my notes directly. Narada Muni chastised Vyasadeva because Śrila Vyasadeva had compiled all the Vedas, which is full of karma kanda and jnana kanda. So Narada Muni addressed Vyasadeva. Addressing Vyasadeva, the son of Parashara, Narada inquired, "Are you satisfied by identifying with the body or the mind as objects of self-realization?" A few verses later, Shri Narada said, "You have not actually broadcast the sublime and spotless glories of the personality of Godhead. That philosophy which does not satisfy the transcendental senses of the Lord is considered worthless. Those words which do not describe the glories of the Lord, who alone can sanctify the atmosphere of the whole universe, are considered by saintly persons to be like unto a place of pilgrimage for crows, garbage. Since the all-perfect persons are inhabitants of the transcendental abode, they do not derive any pleasure there." Knowledge of self-realization, even though free from all material affinity, does not look well if devoid of a conception of the infallible God. What, then, is the use of fruitive activities, which are naturally painful from the very beginning and transcend by nature, if they are not utilized for the devotional service of the Lord? Whatever you desire to describe that is separate in vision from the Lord simply reacts with different forms, names, and results to agitate the mind as the wind agitates a boat which has no resting place. So all this karma, your dream, you become this, it's simply agitating the mind away from Krishna. The people in general are naturally inclined to enjoy, and you have encouraged them in that way, in the name of religion. You're dressed as a religious man, and you're encouraging them to continue achieve their material goal. This is very condemned, and it's quite unreasonable, because they're guided under your instructions. They will accept such activities in the name of religion, and will hardly care for prohibitions. That is the thing, you see. Then you're making it cheap, the whole thing. So, I'm sorry, but we do not at all support what is going on in ISKCON Bangalore at the moment. And that's even inviting demigods, right? Before they do these yagyas, they invite Yamaraj, invite this. And Prabhupada did not introduce that. He did not introduce that. There's no need to do that. And that's actually dangerous in India. Why? Because everybody's coming from demigod worship. Hindus means demigod worship. And then when you keep that in, then you're not cutting off that anarthas, you know. This is an anartha. Pious anartha is still anartha. Worship demigod is definitely piety. But we are to be above piety and impiety. So why bring the demigods in? There's no need. Prabhupada never did that. He never brought Lord Shiva into the temple. He never brought Ganesh into the temple or invite them. They will come naturally anyway. Prabhupada at one point he did say, every evening I want 2 small Vyasasan here because Lord Brahma and Narada Muni come and sit here. He said something like that, you know, in one temple, and actually they built 2 smaller Vyasasan for Lord Brahma and Narada Muni. That means they will come naturally if you worship Krishna. Why you need to invite them with the picture and do these things that are not introduced by Prabhupada? So Abhishek B, I've put the link to our group and I've put my phone number. Please stay in touch with us. Okay. Hare Krishna Prabhu, what's your opinion of Give Gita YouTube channel about Ritvik system? So I don't know Prabhu. So I have, as far as I know they're following the Ritvik system of initiation, and he's trying to preach. He's making a lot of videos against the bogus system in ISKCON, so that's nice, you know. So he's doing this thing. So personally, I don't know much about them. So I cannot say. From what I'm seeing, he seems to be sincere, but I cannot vouch for that. I cannot say. Hare Krishna Prabhu, I don't want to preach my classmate because I should first practice, but since I wear tilak and go to college, I get questions which I need to address them. Please guide me. Oh, so you're wearing tilak to go to college? That's nice. That's very nice because you're following Prabhupada's instructions. Prabhupada actually wanted that. You're bold. That's very nice. So always carry some books with you. That's real preaching. You carry those small books, you know, perfect question, perfect answers, you know, science of self-realization, even Bhagavad Gita if it's not too heavy and you think someone will take. And if they ask you a question, why you wear this, why you wear that, you know, I've read these books and, you know, they're transforming my life. I'm feeling much better. These books will solve all your misery, really. All the questions you have, you read and you give them a book, you know. And if they take, oh, okay, thanks, and you say, you know, I'm carrying these books to try to give to people, so I have to buy them with my own money. So could you please just give, you know, at least how much the book costs? Oh, yeah, sure. Here's a you know, 25 rupee or whatever. So in this way, you do book distribution. That's good. Prabhupada actually wanted us to wear tilak at the school for the exact reason what you're saying, which is that people are going to be approaching us and inquire. There's a quote like that, actually. So that's nice. But don't try to preach your own words. You know, giving book is the real thing. Of course, you can. Can I contact you by email, Prabhuji? Yes. My email is my Karmi name. Of course, it's not Karmi, it's Nitai. My name before is Nitai Wallet is my family name, so nitaiwallet@gmail.com. You can contact me. I've put in the comment section. So, okay, Prabhu, they countered the argument by saying, where's the order? Well, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given the order already. Yeah, it's a fact, and we don't disagree. But if you read those verses of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if you read those purport, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say, Edesh, in your own area. So it's according, if you read those purport concerning that, Prabhupada clearly says that like a father can sit down with his wife and children and chant Hare Krishna. In this way, he's guru for his children. So it's according to your capacity. But they're using that and saying, you see, the order is there, and they can become guru. But do you have this potency? Are you a Mahā-bhāgavata? That's the thing. And why would a pure devotee take part in a bogus system of 2/3 votes anyway? He can start his own thing on his own, right? Like Prabhupada, he did not take refuge of the Gaudiya Math. He left and single-handedly started his movement. But the point is that now even there's no need of a Mahā-bhāgavata physically being present. There's no need. Kṛṣṇa might send. I'm not speculating. He might send. He might not send. Maybe there's a Mahā-bhāgavata on the planet. But the point is there's no need now because the whole knowledge is there now. Everything has been done by Prabhupada. Before it was not done. You understand? Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur wanted to give that to the West. It was not done. Now it's done. All the books are there. The purports are there for time, place, and circumstance. Bhagavatam is there. Chaitanya Charitamrita is there. All we need to do is carry out with that. Now Kṛṣṇa might be sending another exalted devotee from the spiritual world in the future. That I don't want to be speculating. But here, at the present moment, we are complete. We have everything we need to make it back to Kṛṣṇa. Everything we need. All we need to do is to take guidance from advanced devotee, accept Śrila Prabhupada as our bona fide spiritual master, and we can make it. Krishna Prema can develop in our heart. Hare Krishna Prabhu, I've been serving deities under instruction of my father and Śrila Prabhupada and chanting 16 rounds, but I haven't taken initiation yet as I'm waiting for right time. So, we've been discussing a little bit this Ritvik system here. So please watch those 2 videos that I've put in the description there. And also, this video here, which is about the Ritvik system of initiation. Please don't be scared hearing Ritvik. In ISKCON they say Ritvik is demon and all. No, Ritvik is a system that Prabhupada established that was there in place even when he was physically there. And this is what we have in ISKM. So you judge. Anyway, Shastra says, before you accept Guru, you should study 1 year. That's Shastra. So study this Ritvik system. If you think it's bona fide, then you come, but you should study properly. And if you think ISKCON is bona fide, and then what can I say? We are clearly showing that it's not bona fide, so we don't recommend that at all. As opposed to this, what is the Hindi man, Gauranga Das, who made that video, why I left Ritvik and joined ISKCON. At the end, he's saying that if you think Ritvik is right, you go there. If you think ISKCON is right, you go there. That's bogus. Vyavasyatmika buddhi ekeha kurunandana. Ekeha, not split. Those who are too attached to material enjoyment and are bewildered by such thing cannot take the resolute determination for Krishna consciousness does not take place. So they're not resolute. So therefore he's telling you at the end, although he's like, I left ISKCON and this is bad, at the end he's telling you, if you go to Ritvik, you can go, it's fine. If we're deviating, if the Ritvik system of initiation is a deviant, why do you let me go there? You should let me know. That means he's doubtful. Because doubts, duality, this is okay, that is okay, this is maybe, that arises from doubts. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, the free from duality which arises from doubt, he's saying to Arjuna. So when we see with duality, that here is nice, they say like that, that group is okay, this group is okay, like this guy. So duality, doubt, Krishna says, duality means you're doubtful. So, give me a second here. Bhagavad Gita translation. Yes, 525. So here, Krishna is saying, those who are beyond the dualities that arise from doubts. You see this? So, one has dual vision because of doubts. That means he himself is not convinced about his philosophy. And how can he be convinced? It's bogus anyway. So you study this Ritvik system. I've put a video now below. You study that also. And you can add my number. I've put also my email there. So you try to contact us. Okay, how to improve our motivation and concentration. Okay, so I'd like the question to be concerning today's topic only, but you just keep on chanting, and read Prabhupada books. There's no concentration in the beginning. It doesn't happen. So don't stress out for this. You just keep on chanting and concentration will come. Prabhupada says 50 years to perfect chanting. So just be patient. Prabhuji, I read somewhere in comments today, Jayapataka got deputed to initiate if he liked to act by Śrila Prabhupada. Vid 18 October 1977, room conversation. Please make review. It's not there. No way that he appointed him. That's not there. And Prabhupada says, there are so many things that Prabhupada said. Unless it's from me in writing, there's so many things that Śrila Prabhupada said this, Śrila Prabhupada said that. So we must be guided by what is written, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, how to develop future devotees for ISKCON with right sources. How to develop future devotees for ISKCON. Well, it's not about ISKCON or ISKCAM or this or that. It's about Prabhupada's movement. So in ISKCAM, we're trying to keep that as pure as possible. And you can feel that we're connected because we're capable of giving sharp lectures like this, All of our main preachers, they can give lectures like that and quote from Prabhupada here and there. And everything is crystal clear. That cannot arise in an offender. No way. So this is a proof. So us, we're trying to keep the thing as pure as possible. We don't want any infiltration to come in, bogus things. So you should take association of a group like this. Then you become strong. Then you can make devotee on your own. Glorify one small story of Śrila Prabhupada which you like more. Prabhu, we have a topic at hand. Yes, I was a bit bewildered by how they let women work in the ISKCON Bangalore temple office too. CPP said in one Bhagavatam class that in the West women also work. He just walked away fast after. Bangalore temple office too. Well, that I don't think it's wrong that women work in an office if they're doing service. Prabhupada was engaging his Matajis in one way or another. There are some things, though, that Prabhupada never allowed the women to do. For example, become temple president, become GBC. There was no women at all. So these things are introduced by modern day ISKCON also. But working in an office, there's nothing wrong if it's for preaching. Okay, all right. Okay, so now I'm going to go faster because we're getting... Okay, so now this is another thing, adoption, how to find a good devotee partner. First, you become a good devotee yourself, and then, Krishna will send, but you have to associate with good devotees. Is there an Uttama Adhikari in Prabhupada's disciples? So, that is not necessary to ask. This is not the proper way to ask. Is there bona fide disciples in Prabhupada's disciples? Because Madhyama Adhikari is also bona fide. So it's not that necessarily you need Uttamadhikari. Uttamadhikari is already there. Prabhupada is there by his Vani. He's not gone, Prabhu, sometimes I try to give Prabhupada small books to my acquaintances in university, but sometimes they hesitate to give money for them. In this case, is it okay to gift them for free from my side? Better you keep it for someone else who will be willing to give something. If he's not even willing to give a little money, he's not really interested, Okay, all right. Stop to listen to all this nonsense music, Prabhu, Don't listen to all this. You should listen to Prabhupada Bhajan only. This is all the modes, heavy metal. That's crazy also. It disturbs you so much. Of course, I don't want to, you have an affection for that, but Prabhu, you listen to Prabhupada, Prabhupada never authorized these things. Okay, Prabhu. Okay, I'm not going to be answering other questions that are not in line with this topic. So we are 3 hours 20 down the line. So thank you very much for having attended this most important lecture. I hope you've become convinced more and more that we should not compromise at all. It's a very dangerous mentality, and even the best of preachers, we've seen, His Grace Madhu Pandit Prabhu, Chanchalapati Prabhu, they started well and all, and now this is creeping it. So if they can, such senior devotees, it's dangerous for them. And what to speak of little birds like ourselves? So we have to be very, very careful. You must... stick to the instructions of Prabhupada, and if you don't know what Prabhupada wants, then you go to someone who knows. Just like I think we've demonstrated here that ISKCAM is bona fide, we're showing properly, associate with us, take guidance, associate with the devotees, and in this way we can all together advance spiritually more and more and relish the bliss of devotee association. So thank you very much. Vanchakalpatarubhischa kripasindhubhyo cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Śrila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bo.